dislikes.
Oh shoot! I guess I better get some stuff out. I gotta get this happening.
Hey, is that a good venue to shout at you?
I was like, tough crowd, man.
I'm liking that. You can see the people you're scolding.
Well, actually, Suze was frozen like this.
What's new with you?
Nothing at all I can think of.
Do you want me to see if Brent's available or not today? He did yesterday.
New Year's. Got that.
We're light. It's up to you, yes.
Sporadic. All right.
You are correct.
Did I not give you a light? No, here you go.
Do you have any scrap paper?
Yeah.
Just a couple.
So I just got to see if there's anybody new that I didn't have up there.
These are really good. I want them. But I don't want to take them to Ross's. But if they're not Ross's, they're mine. They look pretty cool. What brand are they? They look, they're cheapo. No, something Maui, Jim.
Oh, that's a good brand.
Maui?
Oh, Jim's expensive.
They're probably Ross's.
They're Dan Calvin's.
No, then I'll keep them. No, I like him. Now, how do I tell him?
The indoor display would be at the local government building.
How do I tell? I got to
Did the show, Mark, that the microphone never fell off.
listen.
You know what that's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using Ross's drawer now for a thing. Oh, carry so much.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
I thought of it.
Whatever.
Thank you for the paper. You're welcome. This brought to you by, Mark, I'm not talking to you about anything. This brought to you by, let's see.
Why settle for the same old
Oh my God,
product? You can
brought
get
to you
something
by.
completely different.
Brought to you by, who should I do, Mark? You tell me.
Brought
to you by the great people at Perry's. The great people at Perry's. Who do you want for love?
That will unlock your performance.
You know what? Integra, simply because the 15th is the end of the story, bro. Okay.
It's so powerful. That's why it
That's a
took
good
years
idea,
for it to
Integra.
finally become available to the public.
People got to shop that insurance, man.
It's time.
Unlike, can you imagine that if they had to only shop yours once a year? Like health? Isn't that wild? They make health insurance. So you didn't get any co-op money at the end of last year?
Call now. Find out how.
Did we not?
When we usually do those extra plugs for you? Remember we do those spots?
Oh, I know you do. I didn't know. Jen usually takes care of it, so I don't even.
She said, hey, can you do like 20 spots? I have no idea.
Did they not do that this year?
But they would just get some co-op money, and we'd like
Did
hammer
we
it.
not do that?
I'd get a little extra money in my pocket for Christmas. Now my kids had to do without. You had to return the braces.
Exactly.
Means you have a shorter term or a lower rate or both, or that you.
Well, every time I look up that Brent Ivinson's on TV, man.
Off that portion.
Brent Ivinson!
Optimization where they can help you tweak your.
Do not make fun. I think he needs
By the
to
way,
shave. Do not make fun of the name, by the way.
Guarantee.
What?
So
Here.
if rates go down
When it
even
comes to this,
further,
don't make
they
fun
will
of the name.
refinance you free.
Now,
Charge over the next.
Why would you assume? Do I look like Dan? I heard you downstairs. I didn't know how to pronounce it. I wasn't kidding. There's nothing funny. I mean, we have to be so
Already approved, not pre-qualified. Up
This
front.
dinosaur.
All you need is
Don't you think it's fun, though, every time you come back from break?
Idealhomeloans.com.
There's letters from attorneys.
Idealhomeloans.com.
Every time you come back from
Savings in a
break.
401k, IRA, or investment
letters
account,
from
then I
attorneys.
have one word of advice. Stop. Many experts warn of a stock market crash any day now.
But did you see the law office, though? Did you see that? That's some prestigious shit there.
Wall Street Casino. Can you afford to lose half of your retirement savings again? Hey, you don't have to lose a penny.
Mark,
Because
when
there's
we
a
get
better,
back into the
safer way
market?
to save for retirement.
I got you back in
All
today.
about it in a free
We didn't have
report.
to wait.
This is
We
the
spent
report
$100
Wall
grand
Street
a day,
and
man.
banks
But we
ultimately help you never
have
see.
to wait. I can't rebuy the same shit I sold. I bought. That's why I didn't sell Walmart. If you notice your portfolio, I hung on to Walmart. I just bought another $100 grand in Walmart for each of
Beats
those.
the pants off any 401k.
I gotta make up that fucking
These are uncertain
money.
times, so get the information.
Yeah, but that loss worked for me.
Guarantee your
Wow.
retirement security.
I mean, trust me, you much rather pay taxes on the game.
I know.
In that particular circumstance, because of how short-term capital gains are done, it worked for you. Isn't it kind of fucked up they do that, though? You got to wait that 30 days, even if you sell it at the end of the year. I think that is the biggest bullshit. Why do they care? I mean,
Oh, here's the other bullshit.
because everybody would sell it on the last day possible, and then rebuy it.
And it should be a portfolio gain or loss. It shouldn't be based on stocks. It should be like gambling.
You take your wins and your losses. You don't pay on gambling wins unless you realize it.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Your losses can only be as much as your wins.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, but why
They
did they,
fully
like
offset.
on your stock, on our stocks, even though we made money during the year, our portfolio value should be the determining factor. That should be a unit, like a
I'll tell you why,
corporation.
because it would open up red tape
Right,
that would
yeah,
just,
yeah.
they wouldn't know it.
No, not really. It would actually be easier. Mark, you have a portfolio, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
but if you planned
You
it
do it by
right,
stocks.
you would take losses. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm sure they thought of that.
630 KO has
Here's one thing you can do. Well, actually, first in, first out's gone now, right? Or now it's the way of the world.
Right. But here's another, your losses you can only deduct.
Used to be able to say-
$3,000 a year. That's what's really fucked.
on the stock stuff?
On stock stuff. It
Our
wipes out
losses-
your gain and losses only up to 3,000.
Are you sure I can't take more than $3,000?
No, it wiped all your gains, 3,000 above your gains.
Yeah, it carries over forever, though.
Yes, it carries over forever.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere. Get those calls in 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Today, all about insurance. It's very important. You're going to love it. Of course, we talk about other things, but you're going to love it. On this day, when we do this, we always save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for people. So this hour brought to you by Integra Insurance. For health insurance, Integra Insurance. Integra, they are our health insurance brokers. That means they help you buy health insurance. Whether you're an individual, a small business, or a large business, they can do it. And you never pay an extra dime for using them. Avail yourself of their expertise to go on or off the exchange. Here's the big difference since Trump took office with Obamacare. It's still a mandate that you must have health insurance. But you don't have to go to the exchange because there is no penalty. So it opens up a world of market. It does help, even though the entire concept, in my opinion, I digress, but it needs reworking. I'm all for affordable health care if we do it the right way. But no matter what, you need it. You need to find it. Integra Insurance will help you. 303-466-5500. 303-466-5500. IntegraInsurance.com. You only have another, 7 days? Yes.
15th, man.
7 days. So you got to get on there. Don't take it lightly. And you know what Integra does for health insurance? Well, that's what Compass does for casualty and property and car. The whole genre of insurance. They will help you shop for homeowners and all of that. And we have our insurance checkup day today. Be happy about this. Because with an insurance checkup, I don't think there's been one case where we have not saved $100 a month. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on now. What I mean is this. If you call our insurance help center today, and then when they're not here, you call Encompass, and you say, I want an insurance checkup, they'll instruct you to get the DEX page, and that DEX page, declarations page, will outline what kind of insurance you have. In the cases where you do not stay put, they will save you at least $100 a month. In rare cases, they say, you have great deals, stay there, we can't beat it. Because they have no vested interest in taking you out of something if they can't beat it. So here's the deal. Math never lies. Never, ever, ever lies. People lie, math doesn't lie. So if you call the help center and say, here's what I'm paying for insurance with auto and home and this and that, why don't you make it your New Year's resolution to save money? Think about this. We have had a number of people, and I know you're out there listening, so please call and tell me. You've called the insurance help center during an insurance checkup, and some of you have saved, listen to this, in some cases, we have saved people $300 a month. Think about that. We have saved people easily $1,200 a year, $100 a month. So why don't you call the help center? And then you can call us here, too. Matt Corneo with Compass Insurance Group is in the studio. So if you want to talk concept or any problems with insurance, you can call. And, of course, any consumer problems, I'm here, Mark's here, the team's here, we can help. But call the Insurance Help Center. Let me give the number out. Now, this is not the health thing. The health thing, you call Integra to get your health insurance. Integra Insurance. I gave that number out. Integra.com. But for property and car, right now, you can call and compare. And we love giving examples. The number is 303-771-HELP. They're standing by right now at Compass. Hello, guys. 303-771-4357. We have our virtual help center. And it takes about how long, Matt, to get a quote? Matt Corneo, about how long?
You know, actually, it'll probably depend on how many calls we get today. But we generally tell people if you call us, we'll have a quote within 3-4 hours of speaking to you.
But on the phone, you actually do them right on the phone.
No, we don't.
Well,
not to get quotes from everybody.
No, but you give me examples right on.
Oh, sure.
I'm sitting here and I say, did you get any
Yeah,
calls?
oh, absolutely.
And you say yes. In this case, we saved somebody $1,200. In this case, we saved somebody $1,800. I know it. So what is that?
I'd say, well, like I said, it depends how many calls we get. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll give you...
What I'm getting at is, what are those numbers you're giving me every time we do this? You guys give me numbers on what you save people.
Sure.
So that's a quote.
Well, I've got 7 or 8 examples of what we saved at your last show.
Okay. So what I mean is, there are cases you can put their information in.
Absolutely.
And instantly find out, or not, but let's say within a few minutes find out what their price.
He doesn't want to set the caller's expectations that high to where it's going to be 5 minutes.
So what I'm getting at is, I want people to know the help center is here and now. You call now, and within a few minutes, you'll know if they can save you money, and they will have living examples. In some cases, to actually get a hard quote, it might take a few hours, but the bottom line is, you call now, 303-771-HELP, 771-4357. Give me some examples from last time. And by the way, that is for the help center. You can still, of course, call the show now. I'll give that number out in a second because we're waiting. We have open lines for any consumer problems, questions, and complaints. Okay, from last time, what do we have?
Okay, we had someone that was with Country Financial. They had been there about 7 years. They were paying $3,335 for their auto, $1,800 for their home, so a total of $5,135. We moved them to Nationwide. We saved them $815 a year.
Okay, so in that case, I mean, imagine that, $815 a year. That's incredible. What else?
We moved someone from Liberty Mutual to auto owners.
Yeah.
They were paying $4,812 a year between their auto and their home. New premium was $3,747, so savings of $1,065.
Okay, now what were some of from just off the top of your head? What are some of the bigger savings you remember?
Oh, Tom, we had if you'll remember, we had an older lady call that was with Hartford, and her homeowner's policy renewed at like $12,000. Okay, I don't know if you remember this.
And they like a 12,000 square foot house.
It was the freakiest case.
I remember it, and you had no idea why it was that high.
Yeah, and we cut it to like $1,400. Wow. There was some massive mistake. They had charged her for a claim or something.
Did she get any kind of refund from that other?
Well, that's the thing is her escrow account actually sent a payment. So the way she found out about it is her homeowner's bill went up, or her mortgage payment went up over $1,000 a month. So she didn't even know it had happened until all of a sudden she got her mortgage statement.
Okay, so what they do is take some basic information from your declarations page, and usually within a few minutes they can give you an idea of your savings. And you do commercial as well for businesses?
We do.
Okay. 303-713-TALK is our number here, though, if you have problems, questions, and complaints. We have a number of follow-ups we need to do. Coming up, there will be a discussion about cease and desist. You know, what is cease and desist? When an attorney demands that you cease and desist. First, let me say something. There are court orders that do cease and desist for certain things. For example, if you're discussing something that's detrimental to national security, or possibly a court case where there was a gag order, or something, there is, of course, something called cease and desist. Or what if you're accusing someone of a crime, and the guy goes to court and says, there will be irreparable harm done if this person keeps talking about it, even if, listen to this, even if it's their opinion, they carry so much weight that it could do irreparable harm. In some very rare cases, a court may say you must cease and desist. But attorneys sometimes write these letters, and it's really a threat. They say cease and desist. And what it really means is, you stop doing this or we're going to sue you. And you know, I've been doing this show for nearly 40 years, actually probably a little over that if you count outside of Denver. I mean, definitely more than that. Here's the deal. I have had my share of cease and desist. I have my share of lawsuits. I've had my share of all kinds of court battles. Just as a footnote, never lost one. Not one. Not one. In fact, most of the time, I'm awarded attorney's fees. What I want to mention here is the topic of cease and desist, and what am I allowed to talk about on this show? People have asked me that in the past. Tom, how do you get away with this? Now, I don't even like the question, because when you say, how do you get away with this, you're implying that there's something wrong you're getting away with. In the United States, opinion is protected. Now, you can't necessarily be reckless or what's called a reckless disregard for the truth. That is something even opinion does not help with. It's called a reckless disregard. There's something else. And by the way, this is for everyone listening. It used to be only talk show hosts, news reporters had to worry about this. But guess what, folks? With social media, we're all exposed right now. You may think all you have to do is post something and not worry about it because it's on Facebook or Twitter. You can get in trouble. So we're going to talk about opinion, but we're going to talk about a reckless disregard of the truth. What does it mean? Then there's something else, and that is with malice. When you do something with malice, and then there's something else. It's called shedding in a negative light. What does that mean? These things you're going to want to know, especially if you do reviews online, and especially if you take part in social media or in talk radio. And then we'll talk about the specific case that prompted this cease and desist letter from the attorneys from Stars Plumbing and Heating. Okay, but on a follow-up after Joe, we're going to tell you the outcome of the Perry Steakhouse ordeal that Mark took on. Joe, what is on your mind? 303-713-TALK is our number. What's going on, Joe? Hello? Yeah, yes.
I've got a question for guests. My question, I've got farmer's insurance, I've got by auto, and I've got 2 homes insured by them. I've had them for years, and I think they're a little high, but I'm afraid to do anything because one of my homes is in the mountains, and it's got trees around it, and my neighbors have had problems with insurance companies, so either you cut down all these trees, or we're not going to insure you. So I'm kind of thinking, I've been, I guess, called grandfathered in. They approved me, even though the perimeter's not cut down as some insurance say.
You know what? That's a good topic, Joe. That's a good topic. Hold on, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to have Matt talk about it, but you bring up a good point. And the point is, can you poke a bear? I don't think you can, because you're not really doing anything except exploring, but we'll find out. Can you poke a bear? I'm Tom Martino. This is the Troubleshooter Show. One of the things we talk about is getting into trouble and getting out of trouble. Joe Lazzara works at getting you out of trouble. Now, you know, we'd like to presume that you're truly innocent, but you know what? Sometimes you make mistakes and you need help. If you did a DUI, you drank, you smoked weed, you got popped, or you did something stupid, or maybe by mistake. Listen, I'm not going to judge you here. Our criminal defense attorneys are there for a reason, and Joe Lazzara is among the best. 303-429-6200. Joe's been with me for 30 years, and people love him. Joe Lazzara. 303-429-6200.
Line 1 says you're not going to know who he is. You met him. Matthew something. He's a friend of Jonathan Eleanor.
Well, that automatically tells me.
He goes, that should automatically tell you he's not enough. That's what he told you.
Just the opposite. Go ahead. So now what?
Anybody that declares,
He did.
I'm not a nut.
He said, tell Tom I'm so-and-so and a friend of so-and-so's, and that should let him know I'm not a crank or a crank.
What is it about?
He's in Mexico right now, and something to do with a conspiracy theory.
Okay, good. I love these calls.
Okay.
And people are trying to get...
Listen, I got arrested in a Mexican jail. Big conspiracy.
Okay, was it that
They planted cocaine on
the
me
one
in
that was
Wayne.
with the Arapaho shirt? Okay.
Yeah. Now listen.
That was a good fucking story.
No, I know, but there's so much more to it that on the other side.
Right. It's deep.
So Matt, really a mountain property, they will almost assure that they're going to want you to mitigate. Right? They did me.
Almost always. Denver
will they
Post
go out-
yesterday, their
Will they
top
go out
story
and,
was this.
will they go out and inspect?
Absolutely.
Every one of
They
them.
dropped me
Every
for a year.
company.
For what? For what? For not having.
But there's
enough
ways
mitigation.
around it.
So what did you do?
I had American Family. My neighbor had American Family.
Ways
He had
around.
houses right next to the
What
house,
did you
or trees right next to the house. I had to mitigate.
What does that mean?
You
Had the tree cut.
I
You have
had
to
to-
have just
He hired an arborist.
defensible space.
Yeah, you had a Colorado forester come in there and mark all the trees
And
and
then
stuff, and then cut them down.
How much?
I did it myself.
Of course.
be emphasizing addiction treatment.
How do you cut them?
Chainsaw.
I mean, from the how? Like, do you take them from
You gotta
the
have a
bottom?
30-foot, I think.
I mean, how high?
Depends on the cover.
When you cut down a tree, do you do it right at the ground level
Yeah,
or what?
yeah.
I got an
They're really
arborist.
I think I cut down 35 trees.
If they're really
Oh, they're little trees, though.
No, some of them were that big.
no.
How many feet high?
Well, if it's like this,
40 feet high, 50 feet high.
what did you do with the wood?
I burned it. And you gotta hold the slash away.
Season the hell out of it.
No, 2 years and stuff is dry.
About how much it costs, about
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
about different
So you cut it down and then you cut it into pieces.
Right,
how to
right. And then you gotta take the slash, and luckily Gilpin County has a
You're talking about the
slash.
greenery.
The greenery, right, the little branches and stuff.
And what do you do with that?
You can haul it in Gilpin County, you got 3 people in there can haul
What
it
if you
there.
just left it there to rot?
So then you can have a burn thing, but now you gotta bring in the forester or the fire department there when you burn it and stuff.
But how would people know if you just put a pile of rock?
is continuing
Of
to
brush.
increase in value.
I mean, you just made a pile of rock.
That'd be a big pile.
You do, you can, and then you can burn it, but you don't just want to live
Credit
it.
cards.
Your
You
insurance
burn
company
it
will
all
pay
at once?
that.
You burn it all at once?
Rates increase again.
Yeah, but it's
With the fire department.
with the fire department right there, it's gotta be a certain day, and, you know.
You get a permit?
And then some.
Well, I think they come out there and watch you.
For that rainy day. To game.
You know, because, I mean, they don't want a forest fire and stuff like that. But no, it's and like I say, that American Family, my neighbor, still has and he's got, I'll bet you 6, 8 trees touching the house.
You think they void them?
No, I think because I was new, and then
Makes sense.
now if they had a claim, and then when they said, they just told me to mitigate, and I
Yeah,
didn't
but
cut enough.
in the policy, it's not gonna say if there's a branch touching and there's a fire, we're not covering
They
it.
can't put it in there. It's an underwriting issue. And so essentially they'll say, hey, we don't want to cover this because it doesn't have defensible space, and they'll get rid of
They'll
it.
start.
Now, if something happened, yeah, they couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. We actually had someone, we had a bunch of aspens in our backyard, and Jen hired someone to come and do trimming, and they cut down all of them.
Oh, they trimmed them.
They completely.
They gave him a haircut.
And I came home and I said, did you have all those aspens cut down? Why? And he goes, what are you talking about? Went out there and they were all cut down.
What did you go after them?
They just said, well, we're not going to charge you for it. Yeah. And we have stumps, so we have to actually have them come and
See,
grind the
upstate
stumps
New
out.
York, what's incredible, the deal was
about roadside assistance
to be as nestled in the woods as you possibly could.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. After
That
that,
was-
what
It's a
was it?
different day now.
Yeah, black, what was it? What was the big fire?
Black, yeah, the Black Forest.
I mean, you
After
wanted,
that-
literally, you wanted trees. In fact,
Timbers
when
could
they
burn
built,
down out there.
they
because of
built
that fire.
around trees. You had to like,
the new Dan Catholic
and now you have to
Different
have,
day.
what kind of space around the house?
President Trump addressing
Most companies like 60, but 30 you can get away with depending on. Oh, I still have a company. I still have a company that doesn't even.
I have 30 easily. I've got 100-foot
you should.
trees within 30 feet of my
And
house.
you should have 30 feet. I mean,
Very close. Maybe it is 30.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. SentryRV.com with a C, Sentry for 100, Sentry. We have them right in our backyard with internet pricing on travel trailers, Class A's, Class B's, Class C's, whatever the class. I don't even know what the classes mean. I think Class A is that when you drive and you sit in, right? And the Class B, what is that, the van? Or
I think
the
it's
Class
a van
C?
or a
I don't even know. But all that matters is you got them for as low as $2.99 a month. They do financing there, or it can set you up. And they have all the popular brands, 2 locations. just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims next to Woodley's. That's out in Lakewood. Or up north on the 119 turnoff to Longmont. And they have a showroom, they have a service department up there. And then the one out west here is indoor. 303-453-1111. 453-1111. CentryRV.com. Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk. We had an insurance question. It's a good one. Can you poke a bear when you go shopping? He's got trees around his house. He's afraid if he starts looking, they're going to tell him to cut it down. But then, Joe, it seems to me like your existing company, they won't. Are you afraid they might find out you're shopping?
No. I'm afraid if I change insurance companies.
Oh.
Then all of a sudden they're going to come back and decline.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Even though you think you're saving, you cancel the one you have, and then they come back. You're right. What about that? That's a good point.
It's a great point, actually. And so, really, if you're with a broker or a company that knows what they're doing, they're not going to have you cancel that policy. They're going to be very meticulous about that. They're
going to wait until they're relatively positive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Get a firm underwriting decision. Now, we actually have one carrier. If the rest of the account looks good, we wouldn't have any issue whatsoever with defensible space. Now, would that carrier be a solution? It depends.
Yeah, it may not be.
But it's a massive problem. The Denver Post yesterday, their top story was talking about insurance companies getting off of these mountain home type risks. And so when you mention you're grandfathered in, that doesn't mean you're set for life. State Farm non-renewed hundreds of thousands of policies due to fire mitigation. Farmers could do it next year. They could do it this year. They can reinspect a policy, and that doesn't just mean farmers. It means any insurance company, Safeco, Travelers, they can reinspect a property and say, you know what, this house doesn't have defensible space. It's in a high wildfire area. We don't want it.
Yeah, here's my question, and this is what I've thought about. If I think the reason they haven't done anything is because I've got 2 homes and 3 autos through them. Now, if I started shopping and I changed my auto policies and they saw that, would they then come up and say, you know, because you don't have your auto policies, it's not worth this, and we're gonna cancel you on your cabin home because you're not.
In other words, most likely not, but sure. I mean, I don't know if anyone could give you, if you were going to move it, in particular, if you've got a hard property to write, you would want to know that you're moving everything. It probably wouldn't be worth it otherwise. And if it's a log home, don't move it.
If I called you and I wanted to change my autos to a different company, I shouldn't be worried that all of a sudden Farmers, who I had everything with, is going to come back and say, now we're gonna either raise your rates on your mountain home because they've seen that I've taken some of their business away from them.
Oh, well, they'd raise the rate, certainly, because you'd end up losing a multi-policy discount.
You always save money with multi-policy.
Would they non-renew it specifically because of that? I doubt it, but I can't guarantee you what another insurance company would do. This is another reason why people need to understand why having a broker is such an important thing. Because if one of my insurance companies decides to get off of something, I'm going to have another solution. You got to understand, when you're with a company like Farmers, you're going one place and you've got one product. So if they decide to get rid of it, then what are your options?
So here's the deal. I don't think it would do any harm to shop, and these guys would not risk anything unless they were relatively sure they could get you written on the other one. John's got a life insurance question. By the way, we're taking any and all problems and complaints, and then we're going to tell you about Perry's Steakhouse and how that turned out very quickly. We'll take that. It's very interesting what small claims court prompted. I'm not sure they were afraid, but it's weird. Go ahead, John, what's going on?
Tom Martino, thank you for taking my phone call. It's been made to my attention in the last 10 years. Over the last 10 years, I had a life insurance policy on me I didn't know about.
Now, who had it?
My family, between my father, who's now deceased, and another family member, and then my mother, they've had this policy on me.
But what was the insurable interest? Were you,
it's his parent, he said.
No, the insurable interest. Were you supporting them or what?
Not exactly. No, there's neither way. I mean, I don't
Many
owe
times,
them any
Mark,
funds,
you have to have an insurable interest. Now, obviously, if you're related, that doesn't automatically make for an insurable interest. But in any case, it doesn't matter because apparently they got approval. They got the policy. Now, are you saying there were different policies from different people, or they all chipped in on one?
Well, the thing of it is, I have my own policy, and they've gotten their policy, I don't know through who. They asked me the other day my Social Security number, and I gave it to her, my mom, and she said, well, we've got this insurance policy. And I said, I have one.
How long have they had it, John? How long have they had it?
They have had it like 12 years.
Okay. So your parents have a life insurance policy on you that's 12 years old?
At least, yes.
Okay. Is it term? Is it term or whole life?
That's just it. I have no. My sister said it was something to cover burial expenses, and if I had any debts or anything like that.
So let me ask you something, John. Why does this concern you?
Well, I never really wanted a funeral, first of all, and it concerned me that I never knew about it.
Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to. No one needs your permission. Right. All you need is an insurable interest. If they say, I need to cover my son's burial because it's going to be on me, that's an insurable interest. Or my son supports me and I'm going to need help when he goes. Or we're in business together. I could actually get a life insurance policy on Mark. Now, here's the deal. They don't need your permission. They don't have to tell you about it. They don't have to share anything with you at all. But if it came to where they needed a physical or something, then you would have to give your approval. But, John, do you know how much the face value is?
I haven't any idea at all. I mean, if they've been paying on it for like over 10 years, I'd imagine.
Right. So here's what were your questions for us on this?
I can get it stopped, can I?
No. You can't. Nope. And John, why do you care? That's the point I'm trying to make. Because you have...
It just seems like lately that they've been putting like a lot of additional stress on me, and and some of it has caused me to have a stroke. My instruments ended up disappearing, like over $20,000 worth of instruments.
Worth of what?
I used to play musical instruments.
Oh, so John, listen. I doubt you can make the case, and I'm being serious now. I doubt you can make the case that your family stressed you out and caused you to have a stroke. But who knows?
It caused me to have a stroke when I found out the instruments were missing. I did have a stroke and fall on the ground.
I understand that, but
and then my steering on my vehicle was mysteriously gone out for some reason.
I get it. Do you think they're trying to kill you off to get the money for the burial?
I have no. I would hope not. But I don't like the unison of events. And I just don't feel good having it. I feel better with this. I have my own policy. I don't need multiple policies.
Well, it's not for you, John.
My parents weren't paying money on something they don't have to.
But you have.
I could chip in.
But you have no control over it, so it doesn't matter. I know it sounds weird. It does. Like, why do people have a right to do this? Well, if the insurance company will underwrite it, they do have a right to do it. That's all. They up to a point where they need your participation. For example, if the company ever said, well, we're going to, we need a physical or something, then, of course, you can refuse. But, John, another thing I wanted to mention, you said you don't want a funeral or something. You can make a will.
I never wanted a funeral.
John,
they've always known that about me.
John,
I hate funerals.
John, you're going off, man. You're going, John, that's a simple will, man. You just do a will. And you say no funeral. That's it, man. That's all you do. But you have no control over the money or the proceeds or the life insurance.
Even if his parents might be trying to snuff him out.
That would be hard to prove, John. Now you've recovered from your stroke, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was,
How old are you right now?
I have.
How old are you?
I'm sorry?
How old?
53.
Okay, I have a serious question. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but honest to God, I'm asking this because it seems like you're a little paranoid, and I'm wondering, have you ever suffered from mental illness? And I'm not accusing you of anything, John. I don't know you. Have you ever...
I've suffered from depression.
Okay,
yes, I have.
All right. Well, maybe, John, I'm just saying this. It is possible that because, you suffer from depression and you had a stroke and there's some life-changing things going on, it could be that you're just maybe focusing too much on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I just don't feel comfortable having multiple policies, having her pay for something that she doesn't need to be paying for.
But you understand, one of the things people do in life that gives them freedom is to not stress over things they can't control. In other words, you can't control it, so let it go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate
and it
that.
won't do you any harm, John. It won't. Make sure you do a will, though, to have all of your desires met. Like no funeral or stuff like that. Simply Floors Inc. That's Inc. as in incorporated, INC. Go to the website, simplyfloorsinc.com. Make yourself an appointment. If you're looking for floor coverings, whether luxury vinyl tile or some wonderful waterproof carpeting or whatever you want, hardwood, laminates, engineered floorings, they have it at severe discounts. Now, of course, in some cases, you may only save 15 or 20%. In others, you can save 50%. You'll always save if it's a product they handle. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Buddy Mitchell and his crew of designers will help you from beginning to end. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Their showroom, you don't have to go there, but if you want to, it's at the southwest corner of 52nd and Ward.
You said log homes are tougher to insure?
What's that?
Of course. Oh, they're brutal.
Of course they are.
No, but they're supposed to not have resist burning.
Of course they are.
Oh, they're brutal because if any part of it. Now we're talking about hand-hewn or interlocking logs.
Like Lincoln logs.
Kits are fine.
Kits, yeah.
And they don't build interlocking log homes anymore because you can't get insurance on them.
That's right.
Any part of it takes a loss, the whole thing's gone.
Oh, yeah, because what are you going to do? Take out the middle log?
Exactly. And you lost the whole thing.
Dan, come hold this up.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that the Ramsey settled?
Oh, yeah,
What are you talking about?
$750 million.
Wait, what are we talking about?
ABC?
The kid was that had that show?
Remember the Ramsey kid?
He sued who?
The Sun. He sued
ABC,
ABC or CBS.
And he got
$750 million.
Oh, then you know damn well then if he, holy shit, that's big. To settle for that much? No, that's almost
or they got judgment. No, settled.
There's no way that a jury would find for that.
Excuse me,
That doesn't make any sense.
That's that's $750 million. No way, man.
Okay.
Why would they? I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying why the fuck would they do that?
It's crazy. Go to court for the.
Did Daphne tell you this?
That meeting will take an hour with the bank. Could I set it up for this Friday morning? But I see it's your kids' weekend. Will you be having your kids? Is it maybe not a good morning? Okay, so this Friday morning would be okay? Like from 8 to 9?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
No, man, he's
I'll
not
be
home.
there. Did you see $750 million too?
I thought I saw $750 million.
It's right here. John Benet Ramsey's brother settles $750 million lawsuit against CBS.
Oh.
They sued them for $750. It doesn't say what the settlement is.
Okay, there's.
Oh, okay.
You follow?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Here's why.
Yeah.
I would think it's almost
That's $1 billion fucking dollars.
Here's why.
You could litigate for
The
eternity.
reason you
and never
settle,
spend $700
is to mitigate loss.
Absolutely.
There is no.
I'd rather go to court and gamble on the $750.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So here,
Totally agree.
And then,
you might
of
have
course,
got
there's a non-disclosure.
$5,000.
Well,
And just a.
Well, did they settle?
No, it says they said
They settled.
but it doesn't say the quantity they settled for. That's what we sued, so I screwed up the reading of it.
You know, they really did basically.
a
They basically
spokesperson
said he
for
did
both
it.
sides.
Do what?
They
Yeah.
basically said
That's
he
what it
did
says. That's what it says.
Yeah, but I mean, they're looking at the evidence and coming up with that. I don't know.
But the way they spun it is what I'm sure they were.
I wonder what they did settle for, though.
It's probably something they can't say.
When
Right?
Walmart settled with that comedian, the number floated around. After about 3 or 4 months, it was $100 million. So I think that number's probably right there.
Yeah.
How about that, attorney? 33% of $100 million. Hello.
Did that go to court? Go to court. It's $40 million, right? They do 40%.
No, they settled.
Oh, What did they do again?
One of their truck drivers. Remember, Walmart employs their own truck drivers.
Right.
So their truck driver, their insurance, they're self-insured. Guy fell asleep. Here comes Tracy's limo. He comes head in, fucking killed people in the vehicle.
He killed his like best friend.
He was like a vegetable for a fucking year, man. How he gets up now is just astonishing.
He's got a new show.
It's like it never happened.
It's bizarre.
Matt, you should bring up that YouTube and stuff where that guy with that SUV on the
Mark,
racing thing.
can you turn the audio off next break? Next break, turn the audio off.
Providers in downtown healthcare serving Denver since 1997 use stem cell technology to help your body regenerate naturally.
So what happens if you sign a non-disclosure? So let's say Burke Ramsey signs a non-disclosure saying, I'm not going to acknowledge you guys gave me $5 million. And then they get audio tape of this guy telling some guy in a bar when he's drunk he got $5 million. Does he got to give the $5 million back? How the hell does that work, Martino? You sign a non-disclosure, like Burke signed.
There are damages specified in the non-disclosure.
So he could, if he acknowledges the whole $5 million's gone,
well, it depends.
He might owe it back.
It might say, if any details of this, if you're responsible, blah, 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 you forfeit this plus whatever, or other.
I'm just saying, you tell your ex-wife what happens, or you tell your wife, you become divorced, she goes, hey, he told me how much it was settled.
Well, if it always says within your control.
Okay. So the ex-wife gets mouthy, goes out and tells everybody, you have no control over that, so therefore it would be a tough one.
Well, in fact, some people do that on purpose, Mark. They disclose things on purpose.
Yeah.
In other words, they say they want it out. Like stars do that. Celebrities, when they sue these newspapers, they're almost impossible.
I'm Tom Martino, and Bright Light Chiropractic is a chiropractic office. I know that sounds weird, right? But honest to God, I feel like I have to advertise that because so many chiropractors have strayed from adjusting backs and doing what they do best. And he does such great care. Deputy Dan, he's one of them. He's one of the patients. He loves them. The improvement in his back has been astounding. Don't you think, Dan?
Much better than I ever thought.
And those light targeted adjustments.
I know.
You said to me, now Tom, you know, I don't doubt you. You know, you say you like the guy, but man, those adjustments are so specific and in little areas with this hand activator, and you were wondering, do they do anything?
Yeah, if it wouldn't have helped, I would have thought it was a scam. But I mean, it really did.
I know what you're saying. I mean, chiropractic in general. You go by the results. That's all you go by. It doesn't matter what they say. I love Dr. Mike Hederscheit. He's at County Line and University. Okay, brightlightdenver.com. Brightlightdenver.com.
Are they like micro adjustments? I hate to bring it back.
That's what they are. That's what they are. Exactly. Now, the hand activator, I actually like, because this twisting and turning, a lot of things go wrong. Now, there's nothing wrong with good chiropractic like that either. But he goes to the nerves with this probe. And then he sticks the probe, and he doesn't dig it in you, but it's like a light pressure, and then he activates it with a punch, like it's when I say a punch, like click, you know, and then it delivers to that nerve area to free it or to do whatever it does, which then spurs your body to heal itself. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. We have our insurance help center going on. You got a call that's not on the air. It's 303-771-HELP, and then you'll save money on insurance. I hope you get really honest to God. The goal of this show is to help and save money. Oh, yeah, I like it. It's a job for me. It's my career, but it means something to us. Now, Perry Steakhouse, let me just tell you very quickly, we had our Christmas party booked there for like 18 people, or 16, whatever it was. And we had a reservation. I get there a little after the reservation, or a little before, and they say, oh, we've been waiting. They're trying to clear a table, but some big party's in there, and they thought the party would be cleared out. So an hour goes by, an hour and a half goes by. We're still not seated. Mark was upset because he's the one that made these arrangements. And I said to the manager, listen, man, I mean, certainly you can do something. And here's what really bothered us. And I don't want to belabor this thing, okay? Here's what really bothered me. Not that they mishandled reservations. It happens. But when they finally seated us, this is why Mark left, they could only seat part of us and left 4 or 6 of us at another table. Or no, 4 at another table, and another 2, Mark and Suzanne, would have to go somewhere else. And I said, look, along that wall there where you're seating our party, there is one couple, and they just got finished and left, and you seated another couple. You can move that couple. And he said, in all of my career, I've only moved 3 parties in my entire career, or 2 parties, and I'm not about to do it. Then Mark left. He said, because Mark felt if you can't accommodate, even Mark didn't care about the weight, honest to God. It was when he wouldn't move one couple. So then Mark thought, you violated a reservation, you know, breached an agreement. I personally, and we're not going to get into this, I personally don't believe a reservation at a restaurant is a contract. We can discuss that all day long, but I'm not going to. But Mark thought, hey, it is. So I said, Mark, do what you want. And so Mark took it to small claims court, and he did it on behalf of Troubleshooter Network, Inc. I let him do it because I don't care. I said, Mark, listen, when you feel passionately about something, do it. So he did it. He got a call from the owner, Mr. Perry himself.
Chris Perry.
Okay. Now,
last Friday, in fact, he called me about 8 o'clock at night.
Now, you weren't a jerk to him, were you?
No, my God, no.
No, I mean, how did he introduce himself?
He said, hey, my name's Chris Perry, and it just didn't ring a bell whatsoever. And then he goes, I own Perry's Steakhouse. And I said, oh, well, I appreciate you calling. He's got over 20. These are high-end. He's a really nice steakhouse. But he was a really nice guy. He was a great guy.
Okay.
Great guy.
And here's the main thing. He said, oh, my attorneys want to fight this, blah, blah, blah. But he said the bottom line is that he admitted that no matter what the law says.
Well, he said it was kind of funny. He said his attorneys really started thinking whether or not is a reservation a contract. When I mentioned it was for 16, he goes, geez, I don't know. Well, he didn't want to get into that conversation either, but then he said it really doesn't matter.
Because he feels the manager violated.
He goes, we have a playbook that every manager is to use. If there is one, if we've got to move somebody to accommodate more people, the first thing we do is offer them a bottle of wine. If they don't bite, we'll buy them dinner for moving. Whatever it takes to do it. He goes, why this manager didn't play by the playbook that we literally write, and I have no idea.
That couple would have gladly moved.
Oh, they didn't even order a drink yet.
Right. So what did he offer? He said, I want to make this right.
And he settled for way over what I sued him for.
And it wasn't a demand. Mark didn't say, well, this is what I want. Okay, so what did he say? Are we allowed to talk about it or not?
Yeah, there's no non-disclosure. In fact, he wanted us to come on and make sure everybody knows that Perry's doesn't mess around. They're here to stay. They're a big deal, man.
And he personally said his own manager did not follow policy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he offered another dinner for 16.
Yeah, well, more than that. But he was more than fair.
Okay, let's just
way more than fair.
Now, you may think, oh, crybabies, blah, blah, blah. Look, I didn't do it, Mark did, blah, 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 blah. But then Mark needs to take the credit because the guy called. And I don't think the guy cowered under and thought he was a victim or anything. Hey, listen.
No, real quick, there is no way. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter who that was. If this owner knew that happened in any of his restaurants, Perry's would stick up. Now, thank God this happened, and I'll tell you why. Because I've been taking crap from Suzanne since his day, because it's her favorite steakhouse. I have not heard the damn end of us not going back to Perry's.
So all is well. That ends well. Now, hold on. I know I have to take a break, Grant, but Matthew, I just want to tease ahead. Matthew has a problem. He truly wants to get on, and I think he's in trouble. I'm not sure, but Matthew, we're going to come back and take the rest of the story. Are you in trouble? Are you in jail right now, or did I mishear that?
No, I'm not in jail.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like...
You're in Mexico.
If that makes sense. That makes sense?
Say it again?
I'm like in a literal movie. Do you remember the Pat Sullivan case?
Yes, I do. Pat Sullivan, the sheriff, that actually Jonathan Elenoff came to me about some kind of story, and then we pursued. Actually, he was working here. He was doing some work here, like taking phone calls, and this is how it happened. A call came into him, and the kid said, hey, I'm a meth addict, and I'm being held hostage. The only way I can get my methamphetamines is if I do oral sex to this this public official, or this former public official. And he said it was Pat Sullivan. And then Elenoff comes to me and says, Tom, this call came to our help center. And by the way, I don't know if people remember this, but it was my help center and this show that exposed it. And I said, there's no, that's a bad way of putting it, but anyway, I thought to Jonathan, I said, Jonathan, don't pursue this. The guy's a nut. Because we get a lot of calls at the help center, and I said, don't pursue it. He's a nut. And Jonathan pursued it anyway and said, no, I got to talk to this guy. So, Matthew, hold on, and we'll take your call. But I don't know what it has to do with Past 11. But anyway, this guy's in Mexico and says he discovered some kind of conspiracy or something. We'll talk about that coming up. I'm Tom Martino.
Don't forget the other one, too.
Right, we will. You say I'm anti-cop when that's something like that happens.
God, that was incredible. Can you believe that guy's name was on the fucking jail that he was in? Didn't he go to his own jail? Can you imagine going to your own jail?
They let him out so easily.
Well, he was an old man. It's not like he did anything wrong. Can you imagine? You know, fucking sheriff doing shit like that?
You know darn well other cops knew about it. You know it. You absolutely
well, I think it
know
came out. A lot of people knew he was.
And so,
as Tom would say.
And you tell me that I'm anti-cop.
See, when you say someone's gay, you don't do this. You do this. You know why? Because they're neat freaks and they're vacuuming.
Almost every day. Make it
Seinfeld.
in life with C3 portable protein packs. With meat, cheese, and nuts, it's high in protein and perfect for on the go.
No, Paris
Nothing more
cancer.
interesting way to get your protein with
And like I said, that I healthy and very
Yep, you guessed it.
the troll. He wasn't a very big guy.
I was so pissed, though. I couldn't believe it. Finally, after an hour and a half, the straw that broke the camel's back is when, well, we just accidentally seated these two other people and we can't move them. And he tells Tom, I saw him, I couldn't believe he uttered the words. In my entire career, I have only moved 2 couples. I don't even know what the fuck that means. What does that mean? Is that good or is that bad? Maybe it's time you get a better average and start moving people.
And he's going to say that he's a good manager and a coordinator. He's going to have to do that. Even though here they should have done it.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, if it was Burger King, they would have moved him. I rented this Playland.
That's Zoom.us. Zoom video conference.
I'll bet you'll come out.
your Medicare plan. Walgreens is a preferred
Eventually there'll be rumors.
nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. So bring your prescriptions to a Walgreens pharmacy today.
It is kind of weird because
Walgreens trusted.
they would have to, you know what, I watched that, or I watched as much as I could stomach. It was kind of fucking boring.
And you came across saying he's guilty.
Basically, when the next day we were all talking in the office, we all thought he was fucking guilty. They didn't just like point the facts out and here's what the sheriff said and the DA and blah, blah, blah. They pretty much said he did it.
More than ever, really, if you consider.
Now, do you think he did?
I never watched the show. I don't know that.
It seems odd to me that someone would kill their sister.
Oh, they're little kids. They're like 7 years old.
We got to turn it
I
on.
wanted to buy a small property to live in instead of a condo.
Why wouldn't you?
So it's easy to customize a program that fits your
Availability
needs. Options that require no money down. That's right, no money down. With American
Financing, there's no commission involved, so your financial goals come first. You can feel confident you're getting the best rates and the most savings, and you will never pay upfront fees, unlike some lenders who charge $500 just to qualify. So get started today while inventory is up and rates are low. Call 303-695-7000, 303-695-7000, or apply online at AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
Let's talk about Buy and Build, a place that I love talking about because Buy and Build buys tons of stuff and passes on contractor pricing to you. In fact, you can go there as a do-it-yourselfer or send your contractor there or go there just to buy stuff and then hire someone. Buyandbuild.net will give you a preview, but you really have to visit 4800 Washington Street for cabinets, countertops, sinks, toilets, faucets, ceiling fans, and more. 303-295-6022. 295-6022. Buyandbuild.net.
This is the Ross Kaminsky Show.
One thing I like about your show more than most is that you are equally fair, that you will call out Trump when he does something wrong and you will praise him with something right. You are very rare among talk show hosts, so I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I think it's really funny and irrelevant when people go, well, I don't know if I agree with you. Well, people are not supposed to agree with you all the time.
That's right. That would be boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Start your day with Ross Kaminsky. Mornings 5 to 10 on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW. Ask Alexa to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio. Then you can hear The Sean Hannity Show this afternoon at 1.
Getting 630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
If Denver's talking about it, you'll hear it on 630 KHOW.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. John Fuller, Fuller Law. People get injured, and the first thing they tell me, here's what they say: I got hurt. I need to hire an attorney. Now that's true. A lot of people do. A lot of people don't. The good thing about John Fuller, he'll answer your questions free of charge. Free legal advice. Really. Because he doesn't want you to take him on unless he can help you. So he has to answer a bunch of questions. And he'll let you know straight up, listen, I can't do much here. There's not that much money involved. Here's what you do. Honest to God, that's what he does. Or he'll take the case and get way more than you can on your own. John Fuller is just a great guy, and he'll answer your questions. He's an expert at personal injury. John Fuller, 303-597-4500, 597-4500. He has a lot of FAQs at personalinjuryco.com, personalinjuryco.com. Do you think people know what FAQs mean?
Fact, baby. I think it's a fact they know.
No, but do you think, now, what else do you think people know? I think they know FAQs. I think they know LOL.
Right? LOL for sure.
Yeah. All right, so we talking. Now, Matthew, I'm going to get to everyone. 303-713-TALK. Matthew, we don't have a lot of time, but anyway, I just want to mention this. The Pat Sullivan case started with that phone call. I did a massive investigation with Jonathan after he convinced me it was true. We had the guy come in. We got secret tape, undercover. We handed our stuff over to the Safe Streets Task Force, who, by the way, I'd like to take credit for busting him, but I have to be honest about this. When I turned it over to Safe Streets Task Force, they already had an inkling of this going on.
What is that, Safe Streets Task Force?
It was local police and FBI and stuff for some reason, and they were targeting traffickers and all of this, human trafficking and all that. But anyway, Sullivan, honest to God, he should not be on the streets. What we found out, he should be tied to murder, to conspiracy, to drugs, to prostitution. There were all kinds of stuff. I don't want to get into that right now, but I just wanted to introduce the idea because Matthew is a friend of the guy who took the call at my office. So what's happening in Mexico? Go ahead.
Okay. I think the way to explain this for people would be the easiest is, you know the show Pawn Stars, when the guy's like, okay, tell me in 5 minutes what you got, and if you can't explain it, I got other people.
All right, go ahead.
So if you look up who James Jesus Angleton is, the ex-CIA and OSS counterintelligence chief of the United States of America.
James Jesus Angleton?
Yes. That factors in the story.
He was counterintelligence from 54 to 75. I mean, where's the relevance here?
And he was in the OSS before that, and I believe I cracked an OSS Nazi code, and that's why I'm freaked out a little bit.
No, just tell your story, and then I'll ask questions, because I like you said, I don't know what you're calling about. But hold on. Please don't hang up, Matthew. We'll let you tell your story, but that's what you'll do. I won't interrupt you. He's in Mexico. I don't know what it has to do with this James Jesus Angleton, but he says he cracked the Nazi code. I'm serious. This is a real phone call. We'll get to that. Plus all of your questions, problems, and complaints on the Troubleshooter Show. I'm Tom Martino. Now, you'll never, ever, ever hear another show like this. Stick around.
Quote on insurance while he's in Mexico for Matt. Have him call over to Compass.
You can't have better shit than this going on.
He died in '87, this guy.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What's the relevance of this? What did he come across, an old document?
Matthew, I can't talk to you right now, but I'm going to put you back on, and then I just want you don't have to qualify yourself. You don't have to say, like, hey, this sounds hard to believe, or this is this, or this, that. Just tell your story, man. I learned a long time ago that crazy stories can sometimes be true. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to worry about that. I'll give you a clear hearing, okay? Sometimes be true. Matt? Hello? Problems that originate in the mouth. So you get a beautiful and other health.
If I take calls on the right side right now, will it go on the air?
politics and TMJ, and he is pioneering
It would?
the new. Okay, I'll come in. Suzanne, make sure he's still on. I tried to talk to him.
I don't think he's right. I don't think that goes over the air. I don't. Although I don't know. Are you sure that goes over the air?
I don't know.
No, he doesn't know. There's no way. Let's try it. I've done it too many times. I would have already been really fucked.
Right. No, you know you have. Both of you've done.
I have a buddy who's had this family group text going on, and one of his, I don't know, his aunts or something got cancer, and it was dying, and her mom kept saying LOL on the text chain because she thought it meant lots of love.
Oh my God!
He called and goes, Mom, why do you keep saying LOL on this text? And she's like, he's like, what do you think that means? And she says, well, lots of love. And he goes, Mom, it means laugh out loud.
You got cancer! Ah! That would be fucked up.
That would be a little embarrassing. I'm sure she had apologized.
Oh. Yeah, but everybody knew.
Sure.
I can't wait to see this tonight, man, this Trump speech. It's going to go one way or the other. You know what? I guess it could be typical. Will the Dems have a response like usual? Like a State of the Union?
I bet they do.
Oh, when is the State of the Union?
I'm not so sure about this, but you know what? You know, another thing I thought of doing, and I don't know if I'm ready, I thought about cashing in all aviation. You know,
are you done flying?
No, I'm just thinking about all the time and energy. I love doing it, but I was thinking if I cash it all in, I could easily get a horse. When I had my horse, it was a way different fun because it's a pet.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And when I go to the hangar in airplanes, first of all...
You've been talking about getting a horse now, just so you know, for 5 years.
Well, I know, because, ever since I lost my original horse, I mean, I had him from a baby. I don't have time in my life to get a baby anymore, so I'm 65. But I don't want to get one that's 15 years old either.
You know, down the street from us, we got this guy that's got a, when I say a stable, it's unbelievable. He also collects these horse-drawn carriages, like he's got replicas of what the Queen's brought around in and shit. He might do stuff like that. Would you want to just board if I talk to him?
No, boarding would be fine with me. Now, here's the deal.
And then you've got all the room in the world to take that horse out.
But what I'm saying is if I got rid of do you know how much money aviation costs?
Oh my God!
I have 3 aircraft and a hangar, so I automatically have over $1 million in inventory. $2 million with the hangar, so I have about two point something.
And you can liquidate that shit fast.
Oh no, that's not a problem. And then I have all of the monthly expenses.
And then that damn condo, man, that's ridiculous per month. It's fucking absurd.
If you think about my condo and my aviation, I got almost $5 million.
Yeah, but and then still the condo. My biggest issue with the condo, I think it would even grow in value compared to where you are. But the fucking taxes and fees are astonishing for someone that's never there.
For a paid-off unit, it cost me $32,000.
Just an HOA.
No, and then taxes.
And taxes.
So wait, no. 24. Yeah, about 32. Just to sit on paid off. That's paid off.
No matter what he does, it's 32. No, in fact, I'd argue it's more because you have taxes, insurance, and then fees. You're saying that's only 32? I don't think so.
Insurance is way cheap.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because you're just doing what is it, drywall to drywall or whatever stuff.
My insurance, they do my insurance.
What if you have the top floor in a condo? Still the same shit. Everybody pays for the roof. Even in a high rise.
Yes. Townhomes are a little tiny different. Optimize your hormones, not just testosterone, but I have some thyroid issues. I'm just 65 and I don't know if I need all this shit. See, you're in the loading up stage, I'm in the shedding stage. I was where you were. I mean, I had a bus, I had a house, I had horses, I had planes, oh my God. And but I want to consolidate. Pellet therapy, the most natural delivery of hormones. I know you do it. You don't have to ask me anymore where to go.
You really did love those horses.
Oh my God. It was just something that for your soul. I can't even explain it. Hormone bros. Because I actually know my horse wasn't just a machine I rode. He was a pet.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a buddy. Fuck, he would still be alive right now. He would still be alive.
How long does a horse live?
30-something. Well, the way I didn't know. Yeah, the way I handled mine would have. Mine was only 14.
What happened to it?
And I had him from a baby.
What happened to it?
Broke a leg.
Fucking, when I got divorced, and it's not Donna's fault, but I put him in, I couldn't take care, I put him in a boarding facility while I transitioned. And, okay, I baby my horses, so when I feed them, I went through the fucking hay, and I would take out sticks, okay? And then I'd give them, I shook it to get the dust off it, and I took the sticks out and put it in his little feeder. And then I gave him grain and mush. I treated him like a dog. Okay, so guess what? So the first time he's at a fucking facility, he ingests a stick. He didn't even know. Horses do that. And the sticks fall out, and they eat the hay. My horse didn't know. I had him from a baby, and he never even knew. It was like I ruined him because he was just eating hay, and a stick punctured his intestines. So he went into surgery, a little too large animal clinic, and he was deep into surgery, and I said, they called me and said, Tom, it's not just one hole. I mean, it's perforated, it's bad. And even if we take out that intestines, he'll never be the same. And so they said, he's so deep into sleep right now. It's terrible. Fucking terrible. And it was right when I was having a divorce. So I went over to say goodbye.
That must have been a hell of a
Oh my God, I would lose it.
From a baby, and he was 14. I mean, this little guy, guess what?
What kind of horse was he?
An Arabian, which is even worse because they're so smart. They're like, they respond to you. You know, most horses are like this. They don't, you know, but people that have their own horses, when they're not on a dude ranch, horses are very responsive. There's nothing like a dog.
One of my best friends has a horse. He said he learns more from that horse than anything in his life. He's like, that thing has therapeutically changed his life.
Everyone
loves
tells you
that horse.
Therapeutic horses. Everyone tells you that.
Do they ever get mean and like bite people?
They're just like me because of mean dogs. Like it's mostly ownership, or they don't treat these horses right.
This is the Troubleshooter Show.
You gotta treat them.
There's a horse rescue right down the road.
Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. This hour brought to you by Fix It 24/7. Here's what they're offering right now. They are offering to come to your home and completely refurbish your furnace. Now, when I say refurbish and clean and check, okay, they're not going to rebuild the motor, but they will remove everything they can, everything that's removable, and they'll adjust the burners, they'll clean them, they'll clean the squirrel cage, the blower motors, the case, the cabinet. This thing will be like a brand new furnace. I mean, as far as function, okay? It's obviously not new. And they give you a no breakdown guarantee. And if any problems are discerned, any problems at all, they will waive the $39 and fix it if you decide to have it fixed. And they'll apply that toward the price. This is one of the best deals. Listen, when you hear about these clean and check specials, please know that if they don't clean them thoroughly and dilute them with they have this special solution and do all of this stuff, it's not worth it. Most of them just want to get in there and find things wrong to sell you something. This is a true service. Okay, so here's what you do to call to get it. It's 720-526-3939. And it's only $39. 720-526-3939. FixMyHome.com. All right, listen, let me just recap this very quickly. One of the guys that helped me in the investigation of Sheriff Pat Sullivan years ago, we broke that story. The call came into my help center about this sexual deviant holding kids hostage for drugs. We thought the call was nutty, but Jonathan Elenoff at the time investigated it. I went, and then I started interviewing the kids, and we broke the story. And then it became a major news story. Anyway, bottom line is this. This friend of John's now is down in Mexico, and he says he discovered some kind of weird conspiracy. Now listen, here's what I've always said. You can never go wrong listening to people. The most that you do is you lose time, right? You invest time. So I believe in giving everyone a fair hearing. Even people that call my show that I think are totally off base, I believe they deserve a fair hearing. So I'm going to give Matthew a fair hearing. He's in Mexico and says he discovered something. Now, Lindsay, I want you to know we're going to take your call as well, Lauren and Bertha. And we still have people at our help center taking calls to do insurance checkups. If you have insurance and you call this help center, they will tell you if you have a good deal or not, and they will absolutely not switch you unless they know that they can save you money, and they take care of everything for you. It's 303-771-HELP, 771-4357. Matt, have we had calls coming in to the help center?
We do have calls coming in.
Do you have some examples? Not right now, but I'll take them in a few.
No, but I'm going to. As a matter of fact, I just emailed everyone.
All right, good. So Matthew's in Mexico. Matthew, are you there on vacation?
No, I've made friends here, and then I have been sort of on a I've been working on a documentary.
Oh.
And what I did was I took all the books I had, and I took notes in all the books, like put tabs, you know, instead of highlighting, and I put tabs in all my books like that.
Yeah.
And I figured that, like, I didn't know exactly what I was researching, so I went that route.
Now, let me, you're not making sense to me. So this started out as a documentary project?
Yeah, it's like a documentary and a book project for the Kennedy assassination, and I was, like, really annoyed because I knew it was a conspiracy. And
how did you end up in Mexico?
I ended up in Mexico because my friend that I worked with in Whole Foods in Denver was he's Mexican, and he had a wife at the time and was living, or he has half citizenship, or I don't think it's full citizenship, but it's like.
So how you went to Mexico for some reason, Matthew? Rather than getting into this minutia, let me just bottom line this: tell your story as briefly and as succinctly as you can. I will not interrupt you. You say you discovered something frightening.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, I've been working on the Kennedy assassination and trying to make it credible for people. So using, like, the same investigative techniques that a lawyer would use in a court case.
Okay.
I don't have a law degree, but
I understand. You're trying to lay out a documentary to show that the Kennedy assassination was a conspiracy. So keep going. What did you find in Mexico?
Okay, so this is a little relevant to all this. So what I did is I took 250 books and read them and took notes out of all of them, and then I took pictures of all the notes, and using an OCR program online.
Yes, an optical character recognition program.
Yes, I did something similar but legal, like the way that Daniel Ellsberg did when he copied the Pentagon Papers.
Okay.
And so I took pictures of the stuff that was in the book, put it in an OCR to make it into a Word document.
Yes.
And then just copied and pasted it, because I found that I thought at first I could just type it out, and then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this for years before I get done typing.
Right. So you did the OCR thing, and keep going, and what happened?
So I realized when I was in Denver, because it got so expensive and it got to the point where I was just working to live.
Yeah.
And before, my girlfriend and I split the rent and we broke up, so I was paying her half of the rent.
Yeah, you're getting into too much detail, Matthew. I'm trying to get to the story, the main story.
Who killed Kennedy?
No, not that. Come on. Matthew, I really, honest to goodness, rather than get into all the detail, I just need to know, like, go ahead.
So what I got to a point was that I read 250 books.
You said that.
And I read, and so I got to the point that I had an idea, and when I started going through this idea of the date being 11/22, and that being a code for coup plotters, I broke the code that shows that it was a coup that day. Okay?
You mean the coup for the Kennedy assassination?
Yes, and that...
Are you saying the clues... I'm going to help move you along. Are you saying the clues came in these 250 books?
No, I'm saying the French word, like coup d'etat.
Right.
I'm saying I found the code that is the coup code hidden to the people that this wasn't just an assassination. This was supposed to be like Franz Ferdinand.
All right, where did you find the code?
I found it in a couple places, but I can't say that on the air because of
okay.
So what I'm going to tell you is this.
He found the code on the grassy knoll.
Stop. Go ahead. Stop. That's not helping. Go ahead.
You remember when Trump didn't release the files a year ago? He was supposed to release all the files.
Okay. So keep going.
So the thing I found out is that I know why he held it back, because I now found the symbol that shows the people, it shows that, you can sort of, there's a number, and you can look at the number, and if you know the code, you can know if they're a good guy or a bad guy. Does that make sense?
No, but I'm letting you talk. It doesn't make sense. I'm waiting for something to click here. Listen, I'm just being honest with you, Matthew.
I had to break that code, and because I read so many books, it changed the way I looked at it. And instead of everyone looking at it as a small thing, they have to look at it as a big thing.
Look at what, Matthew? Look at what?
Okay, so are you familiar with Dr. Strangelove, the movie?
Yes.
In fact, this is relevant.
I know Dr. Seuss.
Go ahead. What about it?
Okay. So Dr. Strangelove in the movie, there's a bomber that the general thinks that a code is not the right code, so he sends a bomber to Moscow to nuke it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm of the opinion that that's how this conspiracy was supposed to end. But when Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested, it stopped there and didn't go into the chain of events it was supposed to go into.
Okay, can you tell me briefly, Matthew, briefly, you're saying the Kennedy assassination was just the first step in a massive multi-stage conspiracy, but it was cut short?
Yes.
Yeah, you see how quickly I make things succinct? That's what I'm asking you. So, the Kennedy assassination, but what you're saying, there are thousands of people right now listening saying, Matthew, he's not making sense. This is really boring. I don't know why he's calling. Was there a main point to this? And Matthew, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. What's the main point? What is your main message?
My main message is I tried to contact the scholar people in the JFK research community that could translate what I'm saying.
Yes.
They are professionals. They work in intelligence and things like that.
And what?
And emails, and I'm trying to pass this information to them, but because everybody's treating me like a crank, they need to just call and pick up the phone.
I see.
And I can express the things I can't say on the air.
So Matthew, so you do realize, hold on, you do realize then that people do or can, they can consider you a nut, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I would rather, I put that on the line, is that I want to be on the line and be I want peer review. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you see, here's what I'd love to do. Here's what I'd love to do, Matthew. Seriously.
What's he mean by peer reviews, though?
Other people who have investigated conspiracy.
People that are in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Thing, Matthew, I just want to say this, and honest to goodness, we'll do this off the air, but here's what I want to say. There are so many conspiracy theorists when it comes to, hold on, when it comes to Kennedy, when it comes to 9/11, when it comes to, what is it, Roswell, what is it?
Area 51.
What is the name of that town in
Roswell?
Yeah, Roswell, New Mexico. And there are, right, Matthew, and whenever anyone starts talking about these conspiracies, people's eyes roll. You know that, right, Matthew?
Yes,
so
I do.
That's why, if you could just do me a favor and kind of bullet point it, not on the air, but just let me help you make it more succinct. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I can at least help you make it more succinct. Get a contact information for him. Obviously, you never know what you're going to find when you talk to people. I know what you think, Mark.
I think you're going down a bunny hole there.
You think the guy is just, he's a nut. That's what you're thinking. He's a total nut, right? Say it.
He's a nut.
Okay. We got more coming up. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. No matter what the feds do with the rates, do you think interest rates are going up or down, Mark? What do you think? Seriously, you're investing for us. What do you think?
Up.
You think they're going up? Ideal Home Loans says don't hold off on that refinance or purchase because they will cover you with an interest rate guarantee, and they will refinance you free of charge over the next 2 years if rates go down just 0.75%. But here's another thing they'll do. They will keep that 2 years going. So if you, let's say in 6 months they go down and you refi, you get another 2 years. So you're always in a guarantee with idealhomeloans.com, 303-867-7000. And of course, you can always pick your term to get the lower rate, but you don't have to go back to 15 or 30. You can pick any rate you want. 303-867-7000.
He didn't say one mistake.
No, that's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
He's going to lose it.
When you have people that can't explain, and you let them, you see, most nuts say you don't give them a chance. When you give them a chance, they don't know what to do.
They don't tell him. He's going to lose everybody, even if it is true.
John Travolta's completely bold.
Did he shave it, or is that him?
In Colorado to watch out for. A couple of cars involved there, and up in the high country,
No, I don't know.
Once again,
I like Travolta.
Canyon for rockfall.
I really do. I like almost everything he's done.
50 right now, partly cloudy and 45.
Do you like Travolta?
I do. I didn't like that Dianetics movie made, the Alien one.
Do you think that was part of his thing?
I have no idea. I just thought it was a horrible movie.
You said Dianetics, man.
Yeah, but it was. Well, no, but it was written by L. Ron Hubbard.
You're not a believer?
It was written by Battlefield Earth. Is that what it was called?
Oh, I don't know.
It was written by L. Ron Hubbard, and that's why he did it. And it just was a terrible movie. But otherwise, I like him.
Price quotes on the phone. All you have to do is have some measurements and a photo. Give him a call. 303-386-5990.
Well, that was his comeback role.
That was a great cult movie.
You
have to watch that.
Remember, that's what gave him new life. He kind of came back in Pulp Fiction.
Oh my God!
He was dead to rights, and he did it.
He's great at everything he does.
He wanted me to tell you one last thing. If you don't laugh,
If you Google the spider
if you draw the Star of David and put 1776 under it, then put it up on a mirror, it will crack the code.
Well, let's do it.
Okay?
I mean, come on, let's do it.
So what do you do? 1776 underneath it?
Yeah, you draw the Star of David and upside down
who would've
triangle
saw
on the
this
right
coming?
side
The guy's
up.
a nut.
Then you write 1776 under it. You put it in a mirror.
Oh man, you got to do
Go there.
All right. You know what? I'm doing it right now.
it.
You can draw it like that? You can draw
Do
it.
you think Trump will pull a Stormy Daniels on stereo?
On cereal.
On Syria.
Syria.
Oh, I don't know.
Stormy Daniels can pull out.
I don't know.
You don't get it.
No, I got it.
Oh, I see it. No, no, you didn't.
I did get it.
Oh, it is. That's there's not a bad thing.
What am I supposed to write, though?
Wait, we have a Raleigh House meeting tomorrow?
1776.
Right under it?
Yeah.
Do we have to go to Raleigh House
Tomorrow.
in Watkins?
Yes. It's
Oh,
been
come
set up.
on, Mark.
It's been set up. We were going to fly.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Who's walking?
It's not too bad, but it's fucking not close.
What's the weather tomorrow?
Okay, hold on. I'm going to crack. I'm going to tell everybody what happened to Kennedy here in a second.
High of 53 tomorrow.
Today or tomorrow?
Damn it, can you see?
That's why it's important to me to remind veterans that it's time.
That's not a mirror.
I know.
This is Ross Kaminsky, and
I almost blamed the wrong guy.
For your service, and want to see that you receive the greatest savings when it comes to owning a home on the land you once defended. When using your VA benefits, there's no down payment and no mortgage interest required, and you'll receive some of the lowest rates in the industry. If you're already in a mortgage, it's no problem. You can refinance.
Hey Tom, if you got some time after the show, I'd like to talk to you about this autism golf tournament.
That's greater than any other loan program can offer. And even though it's called a VA loan, it's available to active duty military and spouses as well, so you don't have to wait to take advantage of such incredible savings. A salary-based mortgage consultant will listen to your financial goals and customize a loan program to fit your needs. Just call 303-695-7000, 303-695-7000, or AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 122334.
But isn't that another thing, Matt, too, is if someone made a claim with a mountain home, then they might go and look at it and say, whoa, you guys got to mitigate here.
Probably depends on the claim and how big. Everything is size. When insurance companies fight claims, they don't fight claims that are 18
Jeez,
Bike claims that are monsters.
it is pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, did you figure it out?
Go check it out.
You're making me. I know.
It's crazy. Go do it, man.
I know.
You have no idea what happens.
Yeah, nothing. No, that's what it is. Bloody Mary appears.
Tuesday, the president of the nation.
Kennedy comes out of the mirror.
I can see.
I don't even understand, like, literally I see nothing. I don't even
The guy's
understand.
crazy. He's obviously
A crack.
It comes out and it's Ted Cruz's dad shows up.
It spells Ted Cruz backwards. I thought at least it would look like something.
I don't think you drew the star right.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center can change your life. God, don't you hate when people say that and they don't really mean it? But this is it, man. If you have tinnitus, God, can it get to you? And they treat tinnitus in two ways. They can eliminate it completely in some frequency ranges, depending on your tinnitus, or mask it. And then and the masking is good too, because it really does help. It really does. And then they have hearing loss devices, of course, hearing aids. And they let you try this stuff before buying. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. I love the people. You will too. They're located at Hamden and Clarkson. It's really convenient. A lot of parking. And just give them a call. 303-534-0163. 303-534-0163. Just do something finally about that. Okay, so look. I take any and all calls, and, you know, I got some emails saying this guy's a total nut job. None of this is. People are just, there's no conspiracy. Some people saying there are, but we'll never know it. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, go ahead, Sean. What should we do? What do you think, Sean?
Tom, you know how you have car days on Fridays?
Yeah.
On Tuesdays, you should have Talk with a Tweaker Day every Tuesday.
Tweaker Tuesday.
Tweaker Tuesday. Why? Let me ask you something, Sean. Why do you think he was tweaking? He didn't sound high to me.
Because he comes to conclusions before he knows all the facts. That's what tweakers do.
Well, I don't know if he's doing that. I will tell you what he is doing. He's not getting to his point. You know, I love when I talk to people and they say, well, you didn't give me a chance. They always love saying that. Well, you didn't tell me that. You didn't give me a chance. You didn't explain it well. You didn't give me a chance. See, I gave him a chance. And here's what people do. They get mired down in details and they never say anything. He's never really said anything. So I'm not making fun of him. I'm just saying he never said anything. How many people...
He's loony. Come on, at least acknowledge it at this point.
But here's something...
He's loony.
But you want to know something that really shocked me? Okay,
what?
I'm just going to tell you. I have some friends, and not like close backslapping buddies, but friends that truly believe, honest to God believe, that 9/11 was a government conspiracy. No, really. Now, and so you would think they're nuts, right? But Mark, you talk to them and they're not who you think they are. They're not like nuts. They're like my buddies. And I'm thinking, you don't really believe, come on, you don't really believe that. And they do. Now, I mean, imagine really thinking that the government conspired, I mean literally conspired, to kill that many people to get us, what was the, one of the theories is so we would invade and get oil, or another one is so, I don't know, whatever, to establish homeland security, or whatever. We needed a shock to get people motivated.
You know, some conspiracy theories, though, they figured out are real, like chemtrails.
Oh, stop. Oh, my God. I don't even want to get into that. Lauren, what's going on in your life, Lauren? Don't forget our Insurance Help Center, 303-771-HELP. Go ahead, Lauren.
Sorry about that.
I'm here. I'm here. I can give you a minute if you want me to come back.
No, I'm good. You just caught me eating something.
Okay, no problem. Can I have some?
Sure. It's almond butter on a pita.
Oh, my gosh. Almond butter on a pita?
Yeah.
The almond butter's fine. The pita?
It's good.
Okay. Not good for you, but okay. Go ahead.
I lived in an apartment complex for 6 years, and in the month of December, I had gotten a leak caused by the tenants that live upstairs from me.
Okay.
And so I had moved out.
And this is a good reason, Matt. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there was a leak on the tenant upstairs, and you had renter's insurance, it would cover your contents, right?
Yeah, it goes from the proximate cause of loss, what caused it, but yes, if they caused it, yes, their renter's policy would cover it.
Well, either or, the one upstairs policy or your own, right?
Or even the building could cover it too. So it's coming.
But don't you recommend people have their own policy because then you don't have to fight?
Always.
It's always. And it's cheap. Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
So
Lauren.
cheap.
So what happened? What do you need help with?
What I need help with is they have I had moved out because the ceiling in my bathroom still is not fixed.
Wait, so you moved out because it was that bad you had to move out, or did they let you move out, or did you evict yourself? How did that happen?
I moved out because I did it. I took it upon myself to move out.
That's called a constructive. It's called constructive eviction. You said, "Hey, you didn't fix this. I'm breaking the lease." Did you get your security deposit back and all that?
Not yet. We did do I did do a walkthrough on Saturday, this past Saturday.
Okay. Are they contesting this? Or are they letting you out?
No, they're not letting me out. They're they're telling me that I need to pay that my lease is end in the end of this month, January.
So wait. Your lease ends at the end of January?
Yes.
Is that what it says in your lease?
Yes.
Okay. But when did you move out?
I moved out December 29th.
December 29th?
Yes.
Did you give them notice?
I gave them in a certified letter that I was not renewing my lease, and that that I would not be, by the time they got the letter, that I would be out, I'd be vacated from the premises.
Lauren, I'm not sure you did it the right way, but let me just bottom line tell people who are listening. When there's a defect that you believe affects health or safety or enjoyment of the premises, now this can't just be some willy-nilly little thing. It's got to be something serious. And they don't address it or fix it after notice. You can give them notice that you are evicting yourself. In other words, you're just leaving because of the situation, and then you leave. But they can contest it and say, no, you didn't have a right to leave. By the lease, you needed to stay through the end of the lease. Is that what they're trying to do, get you to pay for January?
Yes.
And you're saying no, it's not a non-renewal issue. It's not a renewal issue. It's not a normal move out. It's a constructive eviction because I could not live in those conditions. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
But is that true, though? Is it true? Would someone else come to the same conclusion? Was it that bad?
Well, there's water damage to the ceiling, so there's possible mold on the inside of the ceiling.
But Lauren, what I'm saying is, was it an impossible situation to live out the next 30 days? I don't think you're making a good argument for a constructive eviction. Do you know what I'm saying?
Is he saying you shouldn't have moved out? So you're saying that I should not have moved out?
No, what I'm saying is, if a problem was bad enough, you have a right to go through that process and leave early. No, you have a right. They have a right to fight it and say it wasn't bad enough. Let me give you an example. Let's say a tree fell in and crushed the roof, or came through a window and part of the wall was exposed, and they would not fix it. They didn't even make temporary repairs. There's no way you could stay there. You write them a letter saying, I demand that this be fixed within 3 days. They don't. Then you write them a letter saying, I'm moving out, and here's why. And then you leave. But this is a water spot in the bathroom. By the time mold forms, your lease would be over. In other words, you have to make an argument that you had to move out immediately. And I don't think you're going to have a strong enough argument. I'm not giving you a legal opinion. I am just telling you as a friend, if you try to make the argument that you had a right to leave because of a wet ceiling, it's not going to work in my opinion.
She would have to leave if they broke the warranty of habitability, which was invoked whatever years ago, but I don't think this rises to that occasion.
I don't think it does either. I don't think it meets that level. I don't know. I mean, did the ceiling cave in? Was the bathroom unusable?
The ceiling did cave in, and it's still not fixed.
Okay, hold on. So the ceiling was caved in and on the floor and in the bathroom.
It's not. It wasn't to the. It didn't go to the extent of being on the floor, but it was still usable. but it's the water.
And who are you, Lauren? Who are you talking to there? Is this a friend?
I do have a friend at the end with me. Yeah.
Okay, good. Lauren, you're just going to have to play this out because it's too late. You moved. How much are they trying to get from you?
The whole rent.
How much?
Double. $8.95.
Now,
and they're trying to say that if I didn't pay January's rent, that I would have to pay double.
Oh, what do you mean double? That's the penalty?
Yeah. Correct.
What do you mean? There is a clause in your lease that says if you miss the rent, you owe double?
Because I would be breaking my lease.
Yeah, but
they're trying to.
But they don't get. I know, but if you break your lease, you don't pay double if you didn't have 2 months left. In other words, they're saying if you had a lot of time left on your lease and you broke your lease, they would charge you double. But they can't just charge you double for moving out. I mean, the most they can charge you for is the end of the lease.
Maybe they're saying she didn't give the 30 days notice and it automatically renewed for a month?
Lauren?
I did give plenty of notice. I gave them the notice on the 27th.
That's not plenty of notice. That's not. Listen, what does your lease require for notice?
30 days.
Okay.
And so
she's saying she gave 30 days notice. She wasn't renewing at the end of January, right?
Correct.
Okay, then you owe for January because you gave 30 days notice that you're leaving. But if you gave notice at the beginning,
caused by somebody else.
What's that?
Even with the damage caused by someone else.
There's two different things going on. One is the lease, okay? Forget about the damage. Let's talk about the lease. Under the terms of the lease, you were supposed to tell them you're leaving at the end of January and give them 30 days notice, and you did. You're clear. But that would make you owing for January. Now, let's talk about the damage. If the damage was bad enough that you had to leave immediately, then you wouldn't owe for January. But you're going to have to prove it. You haven't sold me. I think they're going to be able to collect from you. Okay, that's my opinion. That's not a legal opinion. That's my opinion.
The standard is pretty fucking high. Or else you'd have everybody in the world leaving every time they saw a roach or a mouse.
That's exactly right.
Like no heat, like that one lady and stuff that had it.
I'm going to look up the warranty of habitability.
Well, but Mark, it's not standard in all. Hold on. It's not invoked by all communities.
This 90-year-old woman's probably going to end up your case. She freaking gives 15 grand to a contractor, doesn't even have a company name, lives in a trailer park that she's known 20 years, hasn't heard from him since August, no materials, no work, he cashed a check, and that was it. And it's just like, how are they smart enough to know to call the show, but they're not smart enough to know you don't write a check for 15 grand. That's what I don't understand. But she's 89, she's got no family here.
What was the 15 grand for in a mobile home? What was she going to do?
I don't know if she lives in the mobile home.
Oh, okay.
He lives in the mobile home. So I just don't get it.
Here's basically this. Here's how it breaks it down. There's really no set of rules in it. However, generally, the landlord must provide drinkable water,
health and safety,
heat, a working sewer system, a safe working electrical system, and an operating smoke detector.
Jeez.
I mean, that's about as basic as it gets, man.
Right? No, but for constructive eviction, Mark, you don't need to violate the habitability standard.
Disgusting apartments we were dealing with. I mean, even those weren't even bad enough for that.
No, listen.
They were like little trailers.
Don't get confused. The warranty of habitability, you don't have to invoke that for a constructive eviction.
No, you can.
A constructive eviction is for breach of contract. It's not, and for warranty of habitability, both. But if your lease, for example,
yeah, but she's talking about not it's being uninhabitable.
Yeah, yeah. But it doesn't have to be uninhabitable to invoke a constructive eviction.
Yeah, correct.
Right. It just has to be a violation of the lease.
I agree.
So a violation.
If the lease says, for example, we'll provide heat, they'll provide heat. Well,
or they say a refrigerator, and the refrigerator breaks down, and they won't fix it. That's what's not violating warranty of habitability. That breaches the lease.
Nothing.
He didn't die.
Mark, did you see the code?
Oh, Matt, did you look
Matt,
at it?
take it in?
It's amazing.
You're supposed to take it in.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
You're gonna be flabbergasted.
It's gonna pop out.
Get a tattoo.
We might never see you
That's
again.
right. Get a tattoo on your back. Or get a tattoo on each arm. You know, like the...
When Kennedy pops out of that mirror and high-fives you.
Oh.
Get back to work. Let's start by honoring your New Year's
Okay, so
fire your overpriced and error-prone payroll provider.
I'm looking at this place easy peasy. But it looks like there's nothing there.
What do you mean?
Where I'm going to land.
Oh.
It looks like...
Oh, dude, I looked at. There is nothing out there.
What, is there a house there?
Well, I think it's just a facility.
But why isn't it showing? It says...
I saw the
this
facility
was
from an
2012,
aerial.
that's why. This was 2012.
I saw the facility from an aerial on... Where'd you grab the address?
From,
Let me look here.
it's 325 South Olmsted Road.
But hold on. What's the damn place called?
Morgan.
Oh,
Watford.
No, not Watkins. What the hell's the facility called? I'm losing it. Who's our advertiser? Raleigh House. Thank you.
Mark, there's a million places to land.
No, I know. I looked at it a while back.
So
There it is. 325 South Olmsted. Is that what you're looking at?
So this was taken before it was built.
Yeah, but I saw the fucking...
Oh, no, there it is. There it is, Mark. There's the facility.
I told you.
Pop right out. Just like Kennedy.
You had to turn, didn't you?
It's a farm.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Mark, we're going to have fun.
We can just land right there,
We're
right?
on the road.
If the weather's good. So I'll make the decision tomorrow afternoon, but then we can leave.
God, talk about the middle of nowhere.
Let's go down to the hangar and... Now, Mark, will it be dark when we leave? Damn it. Because if it wasn't dark when we leave, I could just take you home. And then she could come in one car, but it might be dark. I'm not landing at your place at dark.
To the doctor when I broke my foot for leaving me alone.
Look at that place, man. That's pretty nice looking, actually. Yeah.
You have a 911 call. The box or
Now, hold on a
have
second.
been open.
Hold on, Mark.
I think you're right.
What time does it get dark?
Roles change.
Yeah.
5, man. 5 o'clock. It gets dark quick. I still can't believe when I
You know what?
wake up.
You drive to Centennial, and then when we land, you go home.
Well, it's, of course. Exactly.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. Okay, that is a site. When you do that, you get a form, you fill it out. They take this imaging software and they analyze your lot for solar. Whether you think you want solar or not, you ought to do it just for the hell of it, because it'll tell you what you can expect over 20 years. Let me just tell you very quickly. No money down, no money out of pocket. Tax credits finance it along with a small monthly payment. You're saving money immediately because you're not paying public service or Excel or IREA or whatever you have. And eventually you own it and don't pay anything for electricity, except maybe small maintenance here and there. But these parts are guaranteed for 20 years, some of them 25 years. There's no downside here. If I owned a home, I was going to be there for a while, I would definitely do it. GoCamSolar.com/troubleshooter. Okay, so I'm not going back to the apartment complex, Suzanne. Lauren, basically, I don't think she had a case for constructive eviction, all right? Keith, go ahead. What's on your mind today, Keith? I'm Tom Martino. I want to remind you of the Help Center, Insurance Help Center. It'll be open till 4, 303-771-HELP. It's for the famous insurance checkup, and Matt will have some examples right after this of what the savings are. Go ahead. What's happening, Keith?
I'm not going to argue or debate this. Anybody who's interested can get the videos and documentaries free through the library or maybe even online. Just check out Architects and Engineers for Truth. And it has to do with 9/11.
Okay, and again, what is your statement on this? Where do you stand on it?
Well, I've seen a lot of the evidence. I've seen the movies. I've read the newspapers.
What do you think?
I think, and you can see the physical evidence that in the movies that the buildings were brought down with explosions.
So you don't think
that indicates a conspiracy on someone's part?
Okay, you're not necessarily saying the government.
Yeah, I believe it was people inside the deep state government.
The deep state, and for what reason do you think, Keith?
just like the Bible says. In the last days, there'll be a one-world government for a short period. And these people are the same people who are going after Trump, and they just want their new world order.
So what do you think, what were they hoping to accomplish in the explosion?
Well, even, you can look up quotes, public quotes by politicians and people saying what their agendas are, and their agenda, even Rockefeller said, or not Rockefeller, but somebody like Dick Cheney said, we need another Pearl Harbor to accomplish some of our goals. So that's what this is all about.
But what goals? What do you think? I'm just trying to figure out what a one world government, but how do you think bringing down the World Trade Center and then the Pentagon...
Because we were able to institute the so-called Patriot Act, which takes away a lot of our freedoms.
Okay, I get it.
Do a lot of things that
I get what
make
you're
us
saying.
less free today, and
I don't agree, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Keith. Okay, thank you. Listen, I want to tell you something. These YouTube videos and online videos that he's referring to, there's another one called Loose Change. They are very good. I mean, they're very well done. And it's my contention that you can make a convincing documentary that the moon is filled with avocados. I mean, I think that it's all in the presentation.
Everyone knows it's cheese.
I'm saying avocados. Now, here's the deal. I really believe that because this is what you call documentaries. Documentaries are made with an angle. And you, honest to God, I mean, you've seen it. You can make your angles whatever you want them to be. I mean, I'm not doubting that these documentaries are very convincing. I'm not doubting it at all. So maybe we ought to entertain different opinions. And maybe it's just the skeptic in me saying, or not skeptic, maybe the human in me saying, who would ever do that on purpose? I mean, but...
The one that irritates the hell out of me is that Sandy Hook one. People thinking our government sent in to kill 20 little kids. It's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
And you know, there are people who believe everything is a conspiracy. Now, people, you notice I treated Keith with respect. I treated the nut in Mexico with respect. I think whatever you want to call in about, call in. I'll listen to you. Call in. I'd like to know how you can make a case for some of these conspiracies.
How about the moon landing? That was a big one.
That's what I'm getting at. There's so many. Mark, honest to God, there are people who truly will argue the earth is flat. I mean it.
It's not?
And they're not doing it.
There's that Flat Earth Society. There are like 100,000 people met over that.
And they've got to do that for attention, though.
No, I mean, some of them really, honest to God, say
Have they never looked out over the ocean? I mean, really, see a ship coming?
And it pops up.
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Okay, I'm going to take Bertha next, Suzanne. Would you tell her that?
Sure will, Tom.
What is an egress window? What's another word for it? Let's play the game. What was that? What used to be password? What was that one word association? You'd say something. You try to make them say. Yeah,
it's password.
Yeah, you would say a word.
An underground window.
Egress. Window well. A window well is what a lot of people call it. Denver Egress Windows wants you to know that they do brand new window wells or rebuild the old window wells along with the window. Let's just call it what it is, a window well. But it's an egress window, meaning it helps you get in and out of places, and technically you need it to use the square footage behind it. Okay? In some municipalities, you need more than one. So here's the deal. They can put one in, or they can rebuild the one you have. They can even dig out a patio and put in a walkout basement on a flat lot. You got to see some of the photos. DenverEgressWindow.com. They're good people. The Sennett family has owned this for many years, and I've known them the whole time. 720-626-4221. 720-626-4221.
This report is...
There's no wind up there.
There is if that little moon buggy's got a little radiator fan, huh?
You know how many people, oh my God.
Well, they say like steel can't burn. well, steel melts, and that's what lost its strength.
You know, Dan, arguing with people about anything, like, look, I'm not a denier, they call them, but global warming, there is climate change, but it's a natural cycle. If you look at the cycle, no, if you look at, I'm not, am I saying we should burn everything we want and be assholes? No. I believe we should reduce carbon footprint and take care of our ecosystem. But if you look at the volumetrics and the chemistry behind it, we don't emit enough to make an effect. We don't.
I agree with
but
CO2.
It is really, I mean, we emit, but cow farts are not doing it. I mean, you know, here's the deal, man. We do have, but you can't deny climate change. Right. It's happening.
Sure. Climate was for millions and billions of years.
Well, it's happened from yesterday to today.
But there is one thing.
That's weather.
There is one thing.
No, climate.
No, that's
okay,
weather.
let me.
There is one thing. When water freezes, it increases in volume.
Long periods of time.
Not decreases. Would we agree?
What?
You know what would happen if that didn't? Okay, go ahead.
When water freezes, it expands.
Mm-hmm.
So when it melts, it displaces less.
Right.
So the idea that a giant iceberg melts and rises is contrary to nature.
No, but what they say the Greenland and the Antarctic ices, when they melt,
are falling into the sea.
Yes.
That's right.
Right. But you're right. Arctic, absolutely.
No, but when they talk Arctic melting, rising levels, you can tell they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because it would have the opposite effect.
Right. Exactly.
If you took ice in a bucket and melted it, the water level would go down because it would displace less.
Iceberg effect.
But if you shed water into it, that's what they're saying, right? The water shed from ice, but
which raises the sea level.
Right.
Just like the bison that were found with green vegetation in their mouths, and they were quick frozen, right? So these were found by archaeologists, like literally like this, quick frozen. And the theory that a fucking, what do you call it, glacier did it?
No.
A glacier moves 2 inches a year?
Right.
And they're like...
They got him.
Could have been a fast glacier.
Well, there's only one explanation for that. And that is...
it's probably a meteor.
Well,
no, that would even not be that
quick. If you think of
quick.
the Earth... I'm not going to get all biblical on you, but if you think of the Earth and a canopy of water around it, as it's described, it would be a greenhouse effect. Then if you think of that canopy collapsing, there would be instant freezing north and south, and then in the middle it would be warmer, right? That is under the. There's a science book that talks about the Bible and how it coincides with science, and the Bible talks about a mist. You know Genesis, and it talks about water above the expanse and water below the expanse, right? It doesn't talk about rain ever. In fact, rain was a new concept. The word is rain. So that canopy would make the world a greenhouse. But when that canopy collapsed,
why would it collapse though?
Well, the flood. No, I mean, if you read the Bible, yeah. So it said that it never said it was going to. It said that the waters from the heavens collapsed, the heavenly expanse. So they called this sky, then they called that water above the expanse and water below the expanse. And when it collapsed, it would quick freeze the poles. I mean, I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but then it would also account for diastrophism, or the isostatic adjustment, where that crashing would cause valleys and mountains. You know, the isostatic adjustment and continental drift. I mean, all of those theories, all of those are satisfied if you believe the flood. I mean, even if you don't believe God did it. The continental drift, isostatic adjustment.
Will agree that there was a great flood.
Isostatic adjustment.
Could be a meteor.
Diastrophism, isostatic adjustment, and continental drift.
Continental drift, though, is from the magma below.
But it's both, because with the pressure from above would cause that too. Would cause.
That's one of the theories I've read, or from geology.
Well, I'm saying it's in this book that's trying to prove obvious. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Do you realize I think the discussions we have off the air are probably more interesting than anything we talk about
On the air. Okay, what do we have in our insurance help center? I need to know. Are we saving people money? 303-771-HELP.
Yeah, Tom, Ryan just emailed me, and he's got a couple fresh examples. So we moved someone, long-term customer with State Farm, moved him to Acuity. They're paying between their auto and their home $3,623. New premiums $2,717, so a savings of $906. And then we also moved a long-term Allstate client to Safeco. $5,781, new premiums $46.67, savings of $1,114.
Do you have cases where you can't save? I know.
Oh,
you
sure,
do,
sure.
Why?
Usually there's an underwriting issue. The person's got a fresh ticket and the insurance company hadn't pulled it in the last 5-6 years, or there's an underwriting reason where we can't. The roof is too old. I mean, and there are times, yeah, we don't win in price every time, but probably 95% of the time.
But you can't lose by trying.
Yeah, Tom, I always tell people, you either find out you're content that you have a good deal, you're being treated fairly, or you find out maybe it's time for me to move on.
And that number till 4 today, 303-771-HELP. And then, of course, you can call Compass at any time. Hey, Bertha, what's going on?
Well, there's a whole lot going on, Tom, that I wish you could help me with.
Now, Bertha, I'm told you're 89 years young.
Yes.
And you're in good health, I hope.
No.
What's going on?
Oh, I have a lot of health problems, but that is not the reason I called.
Okay, what's happening?
I called in August, the latter part of August. A friend of mine, I thought was a friend.
Uh-oh.
And I gave him a check for $15,000.
What for?
Well, he was going to repair a lot on my mobile home, but he needed a car for transportation.
He was going to do what kind of repairs for you, dear?
Well, he was going to paint, and I need new steps put on, and I have 2 doors that need replacing.
Did he ever do any of it?
He did not do any of it.
Now, wait, how do you know this guy?
I have known him since, oh my gosh, about 20 years.
He's a neighbor, Tom.
How old is this neighbor? How old is this neighbor?
He's in his early 70s.
Now, come on. Why the hell is he cheating someone at that age?
Is he still there next to you? Is he still a neighbor?
He still lives down the street from me, yes.
Okay, hold on. What does he say to you when you ask about the work?
I asked him about it. Well, he couldn't do work anymore. He couldn't climb a ladder. He couldn't.
Yeah, but okay, then give my money back. What does he say about that?
That's what I asked him.
Well, what did he say?
Well, he said no.
What? Wait. Hold on. I'm getting pissed off here, Bertha. Sorry for that. Why does he say no?
He said, if you give me that kind of money, why would I give it back?
Oh, my God.
That was his answer.
Wait a minute. Now, do you know any guys? Wait, do you guys have any friends in common?
No.
How did you meet this guy?
Oh, golly, he and his wife was very friendly. We had a real nice, and she passed away.
When did she pass away?
In March. It'll be March. It'll be 2 years.
Is that when he started, you think, going downhill or what?
That's when he started coming to see me.
Oh, do you think he fancied you?
Oh, he's a very sweet talker.
Uh-oh. Do you think he was after money? Is that what it is?
I think that's what he was after, because after he received the check, I saw the car one time, and he knew that I didn't have a car.
You know, this sucks. This is really bad. Bertha, do you have any kids?
I don't have any family.
No?
None.
How long you been in Denver?
I've been here since 70. My husband retired at Lowry.
And then what?
And then we moved to Texas for about 3 years.
When did you lose your husband?
2002.
Well, now you got us as family. Bertha, hang on. Seriously. I mean, Mark over here is getting really pissed off. I can see it. I can see his wheels turning.
Well,
hold on. We're going to help you. You do not go away. Hang on. Oh, my God. I'm Tom Martino. Wait till you hear what we're going to do.
2019 is here, and rates are still in the low 4s. Denver's housing market is continuing to increase in value, with over 35,000 more families moving in than out annually. The feds continue to raise short-term rates, like auto loans, credit cards, but many of our clients are paying off their credit card.
7 years older than me.
I thought
He's
you were
my
74.
contemporary.
I thought you were 74.
Did you ever see the YouTube videos of old guys? Oh my God! Did you ever look at him?
Yeah.
Fisticuffs. No, one guy was like this. Look, and he went like this, and he hits and falls because he fell over. They both fell on the ground by themselves.
And another guy come in there. Yeah.
We should we should do this one. Let's do it, man.
We'll go rough. We'll tune them up.
We're gonna go tune up this old dude.
No, I want to have a strategy to let him know we're not fucking around. We're going after him legally.
So she gives him the money and he buys a car, right?
Yes.
He said he needed a car.
And now he says he's too old to work.
That little bastard.
Hey Matt, I don't know if you, so this Debbie Ball, she was supposed to call in. She okay. But it was
find out
a while back.
Okay.
And I can give her a call and stuff, but I told her, I said, you definitely can.
Yeah, I mean, very possible.
Okay.
I mean, we've got
I'll call her up and you don't need
8-10 people quoting, so
No, this would have been probably 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So,
Well, there's like 8 or 10 different people that are quoting, so I'd have to find out.
Well, no. I will call her and see, make sure that she did it because she's an older lady and stuff, and trying to push. It's like pushing a rope sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Pushing a rope.
Yeah.
If it's frozen, it does push. Oh man, you gotta be on that. When you talk to Mark, you gotta be on.
You better use good examples.
You better have that game.
Not silly examples.
Not silly.
They better be straight up. I can just see it now. Hey, you ripped off that 9-year-old lady down the street. Tom, let's go to break.
Let's go.
Dan, call 911.
Tune you up.
I see where this is, though. That sucks, man. 15 grand to a neighbor. And all she wanted was 2 doors. Remember, this is a trailer house. I'm staring at it. 2 doors, which are probably $50 a piece. And then what else did she want? Steps.
Let me tell you.
Maybe our best bet on this is let's go out there and get her some fucking doors and some steps. And then we'll shake down the old
trailer house isn't worth 15 grand.
Her money back.
What?
Her trailer house isn't worth 15
I know.
grand.
I know. Either, that's what I'm saying. Either is his.
So wrong.
Then what? Okay, so let's say he owns the trailer and rents the lot. Okay, so you get a deed on it, you get a judgment, you get a deed. What are you going to do with this 1965 trailer?
Well,
Pay someone to move it?
Yeah, pay someone to demolish it.
Oh,
It just scares him.
if he actually had a house,
I just hope he. Well, now remember, with stuff like this,
we just got to do it and
just
have.
make sure he doesn't have a gun. There's old sons of bitches like that go nuts.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Once you hit 65. Anything goes.
Did you were able to go on Social Security at exactly 65?
For my Medicare.
He fucking killed me.
Oh, for Medicare, I thought you were doing Social
If
Security.
his kids weren't so young.
Okay. No. Yeah.
I'm
That's right.
66 in 4 months.
66 is where you get your benefits, but you may want to wait till 70. For me, it doesn't pay.
Because of the kids. Purely because of the kids.
Okay, I'm going to do a spot in a minute and a half. What were you saying?
It's just for the kids is what I'm telling them. Period.
Right. But I mean, you are doing right at 65. You could do it.
Yeah. No, not benefits, just Medicare.
Oh, and then that covers the kids too, then?
No.
Oh, okay.
Medicare is just for me.
No. I meant though. Did they start getting your
No
Social
money
Security?
until
Okay.
66 and a half.
Okay.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
66 and a half for some. It's 66 for others and 67 for some.
66 in 6 months is for me.
Are you going to wait till 70?
No, I think
It grows a lot.
Right. Oh, 8%. 8% a year. 8% a year is what it grows, yeah.
15 seconds. Oh my goodness. artofgranite.net.
For your home improvements. If you want a kitchen countertop that's beautiful, you can get a price on the phone from Mitch Floria. A price on the phone. Why is that? He's a direct stone importer. He knows the price of that. He only charges wholesale for all the material. And then he tears out and hauls away free. He does the bathroom free when you have the kitchen done. So he just charges for the fabrication and installation. And for that, you get your price on the phone, 303-386-5919. artofgranite.net.
I should have had Done Right do it. Don't be that.
I hate stupid Movie Pass. Movie Pass itself is garbage. This new AMC one is the best deal ever.
There's an actual 9/11 grand jury to be convened here.
Of course, absolutely. Same with Area 51. In fact, the grand juries are getting together.
And one big grand jury.
One big grand jury.
It's a super grand jury.
And they're going to hold it on the avocado moon.
The moon? Why was that flag waving?
Next thing you know, there'll be grape-flavored apples wandering around. Oh, wait, they are.
No.
Didn't she bring a grape?
No.
Look at this puppy.
Oh, my God. Are you sure that's a dog?
Yes, it really is. Looks like a stuffed animal.
It's part Shar-Pei.
But you can see that. They're tough, I heard. You got to clean like under here all the time.
I wanted to get a dog, man. I miss dogs. This is the first time
The
I
border
want
collie
Poor
is
man's
smart.
got no pets right now.
No, you need a pet.
You just get a fish.
Why don't you have a pet?
Beta fish will at least know you're there.
You're an animal
Now,
guy.
Stephanie's had a dog all her life, and I did.
Why doesn't she want, travel?
Well, she wants to be free, and I get it. I get it. Because once I get it, I'll think the same thing.
How about,
Or if she'll look out, we'll be in bed on a cold, wintry day, and it's snowing on a Saturday morning. She'll say, "You see that? We'd be out there with a dog."
how about a cat?
It gets you going out. It gets you walking
Why
the
not
dog.
a cat? She's allergic.
I tell you, the dogs, they're always glad to see you.
Yeah, big man.
You come home, they're happy to see you.
Oh,
So why is my puppy so happy to see you?
But here's the deal, though. You do have to get up early and walk them and all that stuff.
I think it's good for you. It gets you out.
There's nothing wrong with any of that.
You know, when I lived in the country, I had an invisible fence, and they ran around.
That's
They
what-
just can't. And they have
I got
doors.
5 acres enclosed. My dogs love our backyard.
My dog just
come and
cut
go
it
as
out.
they please.
Caught a rabbit.
Yeah.
Our cats have.
So he brought it to me,
birds.
and then I had
It's
to all the
today's not inauguration, is it?
throw in the garbage.
Oh, today is no, not today. Is today the inauguration of our governor?
Yep.
Oh,
I think you're
there
right.
he is.
No, it is.
Troubleshooter.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK. This hour brought to you by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. I'm a consumer advocate. I love recommending people who are so good. Like Frank, when you're buying or selling real estate. What's on your mind? I'll help you. I'm going to get right to the phone. So let me just give you his number and say you'll never go wrong ever if you have him list your home to sell. They clean it, stage it, proactively market it with videos, and listen to this. He asks for 1 day only. That's the only requirement. You can let him out of he'll let you out of the contract anytime because he knows you won't. If you really want to sell, he's not going to hold you to a long-term contract because he knows you will love what he's doing. 303-920-1622. 920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Okay, we have a help center going on where people are calling free of charge with no obligation. And our experts from Compass Insurance Group are giving quotes. Now, here's why. If you have a declarations page and you're paying premiums, you can read them off of there and say, here's much, I have this much coverage, this is what I'm paying. In many cases, they can save you money. In fact, 85% of the time they can save you money. It's usually at least $100 a month that they can save you. This time around, we've been getting about about 900. It's been averaging 900 to 1,100 a year. But there are some bigger savings at times. They get into thousands, depending on your case. But here's the important thing. They will never switch you unless they can benefit you. And they can handle. Don't ever go with a captive company unless you know by quote they can beat the other guys. Here's why. Once you're with a captive company, that means an agent who can only handle one line of insurance. They can never shop outside of that line of insurance. They're not allowed to. So if you go with an American Family agent, he cannot offer you anything else. Neither can a State Farm or an Allstate. So you need to go with people who have a variety of insurance companies. That's not to say that you won't get a good deal with them. You may, but always shop your insurance to make sure. So even though you started out good with a company, don't stay with them. I think on average, they switch me around at Compass every 3 years.
Well, Tom, we had someone call me from the last time I was on here, and he's like, well, you can only save me $300. I'm not sure it is worth the switch. And I said, well, that may be the case, except for that you have a $14,000 wind and hail deductible. And I'm quoting you $1,000. And all of a sudden he went, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. So in the event of a hail loss, it would be a $13,000 difference in the wind and hail deductible.
That's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous. You better check your deductibles, people. Our help center number is 303-771-HELP. Bertha, we talked to, 89 years old. She lives in a trailer. A guy down the street takes 15 grand from her with the promise of fixing up her place with various repairs. She got nothing in return. And now the guy literally said to her, I'm too old to work. I can't do all that work. And she said, can I have my money back? And Bertha, he truly said, now you give me that kind of money and you expect me to give it back?
Right.
Now that takes a lot of nerve. What did you say to him?
I said, well, you can sell the car.
Yeah.
And that will get part of it back. And you told me...
We're going to get a lien on that car, I'll tell you that.
You told me that you had a savings account and that each month you put $200 in it. I said, yeah, I know that you have some money.
What's the biggest thing you need on that trailer right now that he was going to do?
Oh, he's not going to do anything.
No, I'm saying, but what is the biggest need on it?
How can we help you? What do you need done?
I need to have I have 2 doors that need replacing bad.
We need to help her. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to mobilize the troops to get some help for you and get some work done. Then I'd like to go after this bastard for the money.
Oh, I hope you do.
I really do.
Now, I want to tell you this, Tom. Is this going on the air?
Yes. Do you want to tell me something off the air?
Yes.
Hold on. Suzanne, let her tell you off the air, and then we'll come back to her. Let me get to Lindsay. Lindsay, what's going on with you? Hello, Lindsay.
Hi. I'm calling, actually, for my mom about Apria Healthcare.
What's going on with it?
They're horrible.
Why?
They're awful. I think the treatment of the patients and people that use them is it's incredibly unfair, and they know they have a monopoly, so they're not...
What do they have a monopoly? What do they have a monopoly on?
In the oxygen world.
Oh.
So just an example, my mom received a letter back in November asking, they sent a letter to her. She has a concentrator. It's the main oxygen source. Saying that for her safety, they need to come out and check it. She scheduled an appointment for a week later. She has now made 4 different appointments that they have not shown up for.
Why?
There's no explanation. When you call the 800 number, she's either put on hold for 30 to 45 minutes. They hang up on her. They transfer her around. She has a new, her 5th appointment now is scheduled for January 14th. She has little mini oxygen bottles that are called B2s that she can take with her.
Yeah.
The regulator and key broke. She called for 2 weeks to get a new regulator and a key. They brought the regulator. She still doesn't have a key.
Wait a minute. So these people, where do they collect? From her Social Security? I mean, Medicare?
Her insurance. She has private insurance, and then she pays some money out of pocket.
But why only Apria? Why do they have a monopoly?
This seems to be where all the healthcare providers use. I've done some research, and I haven't found another oxygen company that can do this. From what I've seen, and this is what the hospitals have suggested. And I've contacted their corporate many times.
And what do they do?
We got a call from one man about 3 months ago. He gave her his office number, and she's called him several times, and he has not returned any phone calls.
Here's what some of the things online say. Verified reviews. They bill insurance, so they need to do nothing to prove their worth. 2 years in a row, they have sent me the wrong stuff. And they tell me someone will call, and it never happens. Does that sound familiar? My doctor's office had me switch, and I was very nervous about the switch because I've been reading negative reviews. My experience with them has been great. This one has been great. Okay, the other one. Apria made several withdrawals from my bank without my permission. They got paid several times for the same thing. We are hearing a lot of garbage about them, but there was one good review out of there. What do you want? What is the problem right now? What can we do for you?
I think the problem is I would love just some acknowledgement from their corporate. I mean, they have drivers.
Well, let's make some noise. Let's make some noise. What is the immediate concern? Or are you just saying basically they suck? I mean, is that it?
I mean, they basically suck, but my concern is that if my mom didn't have a maintenance man that had a key that she could borrow to turn her oxygen on, she wouldn't have working oxygen, and she couldn't go to work, and if she couldn't go to work, she couldn't pay for her insurance. And I just think it's the care. They just don't care. I mean, these are people that have a lot of health care problems, and there's older people, and they just don't care.
Apria does not care. That's a terrible message to have go out over the air. Apria does not care. Suzanne, we need to let them know that we're hearing this, and
yes, Tom.
Let's get her last name, your mom, and let's find out. I mean, this is wrong. Now they say they have a resolution department or dispute resolution. Did you know that?
Oh, I've contacted them too. I've never heard back.
Are you kidding me?
I've contacted everybody in the corporate offices, and I don't get emails back.
Suzanne, have we ever contacted them before?
Yes.
We have?
Yes, staff has for us.
So we may have a contact
Yeah,
there.
we do have one, and I think he's resolved a few things in the past for us, I think.
Okay. You hold on, and we're going to try to get Daphne to hook us up. And then on the bigger picture, we'll find out if they have a problem and why. Annie, what's going on? Annie?
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Annie. What's happening?
I wanted to find out about the charitable deductions for this year. I've heard that...
For this year or for 2018?
No, for this year, because I want to start doing the right thing. Previously, I relied on charitable deductions to offset my taxes, but I've heard charitable deductions are being changed this year for 2019, and so I want to find out what the change is so that if I need to find something else to offset taxes, I can start doing it now.
Ah, I get what you're saying. So how did you offset taxes? You would figure out how much you could contribute to pay less tax, and it would be a wash. Is that how you did it?
Well, yes. Basically, that's what I was doing, yes. Sometimes I had to pay a little bit, but that's how I offset taxes, and it was, legal and everything was okay.
No, I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. So, yes. Mark, are you aware of the differences? There are changes. There are definitely changes.
I do not know what they are.
Okay, we're going to find out for you, and here's the deal. Hold on. The tax brackets change, but you're talking about specifically for charitable. I'm looking at our bullet points we got from our expert. There's higher standard deductions, and hold on, we're getting to that. They made some... you know what? Let's get him on the phone or get... Oh, wait, here it is. Now, the charitable contributions deduction has changed, okay? It says... Highly charitable taxpayers can now deduct donations as much as 60% of their AGI, a boost from the previous 50%. They're saying it got better, so I don't understand. They say, well, this is just the brief thing I'm looking at. What we'll do is specifically ask that question. So hold on, and we'll get you some answers for that, okay? We'll find out about charitable giving from Atlas, and those are the people we use are accounting for success, and they're part of the Atlas group. 303-713-TALK. And the insurance questions and answers are 303-771-HELP, 771-4357. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair. I just constantly am awed by this special. Basically, it's this. They do auto repair, and they do transmission repairs. They do rebuilding right there in-house. They're willing, if you have a transmission problem, they're willing to remove the transmission, take it apart, and see exactly what's wrong, and give you a quote with no cost and no obligation. It's that simple. You can call for details, but it's that simple. Do you have to get it fixed? No. And it's still going to be no cost. If you take it somewhere else, it's still going to be no cost. Of course, they think they can beat that price. And if you decide to have someone else done, it doesn't matter. If you want to junk the car, it doesn't matter. They will take apart that transmission and give you an exact estimate free of charge. 303-781-9858. You just don't get better than that. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair. Spread the word. 303-781-9858.
This report is sponsored by American Financing.
Okay, so Bertha said what she was afraid to say on the air, Tom, was that he's an ex-con with lots of guns and he claims to be very mean. So I think she's scared. I already had one guy already say, give me his number, I'm going to call him. I gave it to him. I tried calling him, but it just says voicemail's full.
Oh, you gave the number?
Just to a guy off the air. He's the guy who calls us. He's like, I want a shot at this guy.
Now, I told Mark, we got to be careful because this guy could be.
So
and he has guns?
She says he has guns and claims to be very mean. So it sounds like, and I don't know if you guys got this or not. That 15 grand, she knew he was going to use part of that to buy a car.
Yeah, she said that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But it was with the agreement.
Oh, it's no excuse.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean,
We got to just go out there and see what she needs.
Dude, do you want to finish up with her, or do you want me to let her go?
No, let's let her go right now, but we'll get the information. You know, we have the information.
I have the info.
Where she live? What town?
It's Aurora. It's a mobile home park up there. So I sent Mark the.
Yeah, let's see how we're going to do this
on that car to see what I'll do that afterwards.
What are you bitching about?
I've got to call Kevin at Sheridan about that car that Clint had and stuff. You know, that if he was able to do anything with it, the water pump on that. I think it was an SUV. Mountaineer.
It is.
What is?
The car you give to that old guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
the granddad.
Right, the granddad.
We gotta get
so Clint couldn't fix it and stuff. You know, he put a tire on it and put a new battery on it, but apparently it's a fuel pump.
Is Clint gonna be all right?
His wife said it was worse, but he's gonna go in the hospital, I guess. You know, he was they had him drinking to dissolve his.
Seen the light.
To dissolve his stone, pure apple cider vinegar.
Now you know what it's all about.
I've got it. I'm going to tell anyone.
Did you?
Until I write my book. No, until I write my book. You'll have to.
What stone are you talking about?
Apparently, they think he might have a stone in his gallbladder.
I've never heard of that.
I never heard of that either and stuff. So but pure apple cider, that's strong stuff.
All right, there you go. Now we both are the happy owners of Apple and Walmart. I got a little nervous buying Apple, but I said, fuck it, man.
It's been a
It is
ugly ride.
It is so far down, I can't imagine.
How far
Did
down
you see their PE ratio? 12.4.
It was down $15, what, 2 days ago? 3 days
How
ago?
much was it at its peak?
Oh, here, I'll tell you. No, way over 200.
210, wasn't it?
Or let's say it's average peak, Mark. It's average high. Let's put it that way.
220. You know, 230, 220, 230.
232.
I have a lot of Apple.
One Clear Choice garage doors. You don't do better.
Or One Clear Choice should be your clear choice for doors. One Clear Choice garage doors. OneClearChoiceStores.com. That's right, OneClearChoiceStores.com. 303. Let me give you their number. Even though that'll get there, OneClearChoiceStores.com. Now, if you have a broken spring, you need them immediately. You can call them for emergency service, call them for regular checkups, call them for anything. Brand new door starting at just around $330, and that's with battery backup, Wi-Fi ready, and also time to close features. I love these people. Chris Chapman runs this company impeccably. OneClearChoiceDoors.com, 303-565-6409. I love representing companies like this, 303-565-6409. Jeff's got a comment on Apria. She called and said, man, this place sucks. I get my mom gets her oxygen there, and they just don't seem to care. And I've read a lot of negative reviews online. There are a few positive ones, but the negative ones outweigh the positive ones. What do you think, Jeff?
The issue is that there are so few companies that do oxygen in this area. With Kaiser, the only choice that you have is Apria. You can't pick any other company. And there are other companies out there that I've used, but Apria just doesn't. They really have a hard time servicing people.
Now, do you use them?
Yes.
What is your experience?
My experience is terrible. They really do not provide customer service. The person was talking earlier about how they make appointments and then to come to your house to be able to check their concentrator, and I've had the same experience over and over and over again. But I have Kaiser, and Kaiser only takes Apria.
Interesting. So they kind of do have a monopoly. Listen, I mentioned we were going to talk about this plumbing thing. I'm debating whether we should wait till tomorrow, Mark, because we got so far afoot with other things. What do you think?
Your call, man, really.
Yeah,
it drove me nuts. I mean, I'll be straightforward. I personally think they really put the screws to this guy.
Yeah, and we're going to discuss it. Let's do it tomorrow. People, you want to tune in. It's all about this plumbing company, and it's it's how they handled this. I want your opinion on how they handle it. And then the attorney gave us a cease and desist. I want to have enough time. Really, you know what? We did leave a couple messages that we want to get this. We, honest to God, want to get either the attorney on or a member of the Stars Plumbing, because we want to talk to them. And they, in fact, if they just want to prepare a statement, I would read a statement. But we have so many facts here that you need to hear tomorrow. And I really do want to follow up this story. It's very important. Now, the charitable contribution, Suzanne, were we able to get our people?
Working on it.
We're working on it. Okay. So you hang on, Annie. I believe, according to this blurb, that the actual contribution has increased for charity, but I might be wrong here. That's what I'm reading. Okay. Donna, let's talk about a senior living center. What is going on?
Well, it's fallen apart. I moved in 2.5 years ago.
Now, is this where you have your individual apartment and all of that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I moved in 2.5 years ago, and it was about 5 years old then, and it well taken care of. It had a different manager. Now the manager is the owner's son, and he's supposed to come in 3 days a week, and you can never find him.
How many people, how many apartments?
Ooh, probably about 70. It's 2 buildings. It's one's chassis. The other, they're hooked together by a hallway.
Are you just basically calling because they're not, I mean, they just don't maintain the place or what?
Oh no.
Why don't you move? Why don't you move?
Because if you move to another, I'm 72, and if you move to another senior building, you get on a 3-year waiting list.
In other words,
2 years.
What is special when you say a senior building? Is it subsidized?
It's a tax credit for them.
So no, what I mean is your rent low?
Well, it's $800, and that's low for now. That's really dirt cheap. But I'm also not getting. I have bugs in my apartment. When I moved in, it was fine. For a year, I loved it. Now I have 3 kinds of bugs. I have to sleep in a wet bed because I have to spray it with water and lemon juice.
Okay, so without getting into details, bugs. Is that the current problem right now? I mean, if you're just unhappy with the management, okay, we can't solve an overall problem. We can, if there's something specific we can help with, and is it something other people are sharing? You're saying you live in an apartment house basically with bad landlords.
Well, just not caring landlords.
All right. So what do you think is the problem? I mean, what is the problem?
Well, he has said he just doesn't care. He's there.
He actually said, "I don't care."
Yeah, I'm here to collect the rent.
Does anyone oversee this place as a senior living center? I'm still not clear on whether they're subsidized or not. Is this something you have to apply for and the government approves?
I have to apply, and they have to approve, but it's not subsidized. It's called a tax credit.
Okay, so in other words, the landlords get credits for doing lower rents.
Right.
Okay.
But the bugs, I'm being bitten to death, and then also I have something in my apartment that is laying little bitty eggs all over.
Okay, so is that the main problem right now, the bug problem? I mean, we don't mind calling the landlord and finding out what's going on. Do you have other tenants that would join you in talking about the problems, or are you, in other words, is this widespread?
I believe so. It's hard because it's basically Hispanic. I don't speak Spanish, so. But I do know some people that have, I've called CHAFA, but I've had no luck.
Well, I don't know what CHAFA has to do with it. Are they the ones that provide the credit?
Yeah, they're the Colorado Housing Authority.
Yeah, I understand, but they may not have authority over this. You see, Donna...
Yeah, they do. They told me they did.
Okay, you're sure of that. All right, what's the name of the place?
Shoshone Senior Residence.
Shoshone Senior Residence. Hold on. Yeah. Deputy Dan, what I'd like to do is first call the management company, the landlord, and then if they don't respond, I mean, we got to get some kind of response from them. If they don't respond, I think we go right to CHAFA then. I did not realize that CHAFA would be in charge of federal tax credit senior centers. But if you're sure, do you have a contact at CHAFA you talked to, Donna?
I can't remember. And she was supposed to send me a letter in 5 days, and it's been since Thanksgiving. But one of the really bad things is somewhere a rat is getting in every now and then.
God.
And it gets under my bed, and it pants, and it throws up, and it walks all over.
How do you know it's a rat?
Well, I don't know. It's either a rat or a cat.
Sounds like a chihuahua.
Oh, God.
Well, there's about 15 chihuahuas in the building, but this doesn't sound like a dog.
All right, hold on. Oh, this is disgusting. Okay, Deputy Dan, would you make that call? And are we giving Daphne Apria to call?
Yes, she's working on that now.
Linda, you have a comment on Apria. What's going on? And we have some lines open after Linda. We have a lot of lines. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What's going on, Linda, with Apria?
Well, I was a respiratory therapist at Swedish for 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And we always had problems with Apria. Really? And the only reason we got around it is because we had a choice of choosing other oxygen companies. But they were terrible. We usually had to call the manager to put an order in because they were terrible to the patients.
That is disgusting. I can't believe they have such a bad reputation. We're getting all kinds of comments about them.
That's what happens when something becomes a monopoly, though.
That's the monopoly. That's what they've got. And the doctors and everyone will say, hey, take them, take them, take them. I don't know if they're getting some kind of something from them or what.
I don't think so. As far as the doctors, no, I don't think so. I mean,
you have no idea.
Wait a minute.
Anyway.
You've been in it for 40 years, so what do you mean I have no idea? I'll believe you. What do you tell me?
I'm just saying doctors' offices will be provided lunches.
You're right.
Extra little things and more lunches than normal because they recommend Apria.
I heard one time that sometimes doctors' offices accept and now they're not supposed to, but they accept vacations and other kind of benefits from drug companies.
Now I don't know about that, but I do know the oxygen companies will do preferential treatment to doctors' offices.
Okay, well, I wonder what the rules are there and how far they go. If anyone knows any dirt on that, let us know. I'm serious. We'll keep you out of it. I'd like to know if doctors' offices recommend certain drugs or push certain drugs for any kind of reward. I heard that goes on. And you'll always notice, at least it used to be, that drug representatives, pharmaceutical representatives, are usually young, attractive females. That's a stereotype because it's true, or it used to be. Now, Chuck says he has an issue with another oxygen company. We'll talk about that. WinkandWink.com. Mike and Gigi Wink. They are Wink and Wink. Here's the bottom line. They're bankruptcy attorneys, so I really hope you never need them. But I will tell you this. You won't find anyone better if you do. If you need a Chapter 13 or a Chapter 7, Wink and Wink. They can stop a foreclosure in its tracks with a Chapter 13. They can also help you with debt settlements and negotiation. WinkandWink.com, 303-410-1720.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. With Russ Kaminsky mornings, Dan Kaplis, afternoons at 4, KHOW, Denver.
From the Fox Business Network on Wall Street, the major averages are higher in afternoon trading on optimism that China and the U.S. will settle their trade dispute. And shares of PG&E continue to tank after the S&P ratings agency slashed its credit rating to junk status. The California utility is dealing with the political and financial fallout from costly and deadly wildfires in California. And Samsung echoing the same concerns as Apple and expects its quarterly operating profit will be nearly 29% lower than last year. The news potentially unsettling a tech sector already worried about slowing global economic growth. And a mall on the West Coast will be expanding to make room for one of Google's new homes. Google taking up space at Westside Pavilion in West Los Angeles, which will be redeveloped into a 584,000-square-foot office campus with construction completed by 2022. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Hillary Barsky.
Even in my own home, I had my own designated space to smoke. If I think about it, it really was like I was punishing myself. A friend of mine said, why wouldn't you just try the Juul? And so I went out and I bought one. The idea of going back to smoke.
Oh my God, these doctors, holy shit.
Oh, dude, they bust them monthly. I don't know what the rules and regs are, though, as far as taking the money. I realize those doctors shouldn't have given the prescriptions, but you never see the farms, the pharmaceutical people, in trouble.
Pretty good shape right now. Just a little bit of slowing on that ramp eastbound 270.
Where did I miss what we guys talking about that?
Just the latest bunch of doctors that got busted in Queens.
For overprescribing?
They prescribed more than 6 million oxycodone pills. They
collected
collected more than $5 million in cash fees.
Oh, jeez. I hope they go to jail.
Think of what those farmies get, man.
Do you know, you want to be a trillionaire? Not a billionaire, a trillionaire? Invent a drug that binds to the opiate receptors without being habit-forming and without building a tolerance.
So therefore you could never get high.
No, you could get, what I'm saying, you get high. In other words,
I
you would get that good feeling without habit-forming and without addiction. Of course now,
there's psychological addiction, though.
No, but still, it doesn't matter if you were without it. You'd get irritated, like, but you wouldn't be physically addicted. Think about that. I'll bet you, do you think there are any companies ever working on that? You know damn well they are.
Oh, of course.
That
all the
you'd be a
pharmaceutical
trillionaire. I mean, literally.
Or develop something that doesn't kill you, but it's highly addictive.
I mean, look at the money marijuana's making.
Oh, my God.
I hate marijuana. I wish I didn't hate it. It's so easy to get.
I don't hate it. I like consuming it, but I don't have a problem with it.
I freaking can't stand the smell, the feeling. Ugh.
It just
and every few years, somebody will convince me, oh, no, this is different. And it's just...
Here, eat this candy bar.
Get edible.
Ugh. Ugh. And even when I was younger and everyone was smoking pot when I was a musician, I could never figure out what people liked about it. You like it? You don't hate it?
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't find anything wrong with it or anything. It just makes me paranoid.
Yeah.
If it didn't make me paranoid, I like it.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK,
713-8255, approvalreverse.com. Just remember, approvalreverse.com. That's the only thing you need to know to find out everything about reverse mortgages. Good for some. For most people, they're not good, but they're great for some people, 62 or older, to tap the equity in your home and you never pay it back. But remember, it's not a panacea. It's not for everyone. ApprovalReverse.com. Those are the people we trust, and they'll tell you the truth as to whether or not it's right for you. Hey, Ruth, and by the way, 303-771-HELP. Keep that number, that insurance help center, till 4, and we'll get some other examples here. Ruth, you got fired. Now, normally, you know, we're an at-will employee state, and most states are now, meaning you can get fired for anything except what's specifically named in the law. However, there have been some cases recently, which, when I say recently, 5 years or so, which were a little different in that there have been some cases where employees have prevailed when they proved that people were unfair. There is a covenant of fairness, it's called, but it was in egregious cases where people were just totally unfair to one person for no reason at all, and in some rare cases those employees prevail. So I just digress. Let's get to your problem. You were fired. Let's talk about it. What's going on?
Okay, well, I'll try to be brief because I had I had a job for 8 years in the same field, and it was fine. I decided I needed to make more money, and I moved on. And so I went to Centura, and
to do what?
To do medical imaging.
Okay.
And you know, it's kind of tough. You get picked on when you're the new person, you know. And
like how? How do you get picked on?
Fine.
How do you get picked on?
It's kind of like hazing. It's like
really?
Nurses like to eat their babies. Technologists kind of, you know, like to put you through the ringer and see what you got, and that's fine.
Really?
You know,
can you give me? Hold on. Can you give me an example? I'm just curious more than anything.
Okay. Well, for instance, this is part of the problem. Part of the reason I left Centura is there's somebody that's been working there for decades, and she had a bad day and did some things that she could have and should have been written up for, and I wasn't going to tell on her. I'm there to work. I'm not there to babysit or manage people. And so, you know, I told my boss because she complained about me doing something, and it wasn't even me that did it. And I was not allowed to go back and look at it. I was not allowed to investigate it. I was suspended from work, and when I came back...
Well, hold on. You're saying a whole bunch of things. I asked you, give me an example of how the hazing works, and then you went on to say you were accused of something.
What she did was she left while we worked together, but we can also work independently doing medical imaging.
Okay.
She was not present during an emergent patient, and that's fine. But she came in towards the end of it after I was finished scanning the patient, and she did all the computer work, and she did it wrong. And she told me, you did this wrong. And I said, but you did the paperwork. And she said, well, I wasn't even here. And I said, if you're not here, ask me what's going on. Otherwise, don't do anything.
So, Ruth, let me get it this way then. Did your problems all center around this one patient?
It was mostly around the person, the person I was
So
working
this
with.
person you were working with would find ways to blame you for things that went wrong, but take credit for things that went right.
Yes, and she would interfere in my exams and mess them up.
Okay, I get it. So was there a personality conflict, or basically did she do this to everyone?
There was a couple of people that I think she picked on, and I think there was also a personality conflict. I think she was upset that.
So what's the bottom line? What's the bottom line? What happened?
So the bottom line is they gave me the option to resign or to be terminated.
Okay, and what was the reason for that termination or firing? What was the reason?
They said that it was performance.
In general?
They wouldn't show me the cases. They said that, and it was a patient that I know I didn't do.
Was it for one patient or was it for several?
It was one. It was one that I know specifically, and the other ones I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you think that this person you were working with built a case against you?
I think she knew exactly what she was doing, but here's the thing.
No, here's what I'm asking.
Another girl.
Ruth, here's what I'm asking. Did this other person conspire to get you fired?
I think so. She told lies about me, and there was a night where I was asked by a doctor to get a report, and it was after hours,
now,
but I knew
do
the
you
doctor
think,
would send it.
Do you think the person who fired you, the one who had authority, do you think they believed this person, or do you think they were in on the conspiracy?
I think that they wanted me to not let this person get under my skin or bother me in any way, and I think she was so loud about it that they got tired of hearing from her, and they're not going to get rid of her because she's been there for so long.
I understand that. So that it was easier to just get rid of you. So, and here's why I'm asking this. In short, you can go after, and I don't know if people know this, you can go after a fellow employee or someone even from a different department who lies about you and causes you damage. That's a civil case. You can go after them. But I do not believe you can go successfully after a supervisor or boss who believes those things, or even if, do you know, Ruth, even if your supervisor said to you this, you know, Ruth, you don't get along with Doris. I know Doris is a pain in the ass. But the truth is, we like Doris. She's been here a long time, and we don't like her that much, but you're the new one, so we're going to fire you. They could literally say that to you, and you would have no case.
Yeah. So I moved on, and I went to another place. And by the way, that I had a report emailed to me from a physician.
Okay, but what's the bottom line? You went to another place, and did you get fired from the other place?
Yes, and
then,
we're
Ruth,
doing the opposite thing.
Ruth,
like, I
got to tell you something, Ruth, look in the mirror right now. I mean, come on now.
I know.
If you're fired twice, Ruth, if you're fired twice, it can't always be the other person. Now, here's what could be happening. Here's what could be happening, and I mean this sincerely when it comes to people who do the right thing. Sometimes people do the right thing, but they do it the wrong way. It
doesn't pay off.
They do the right thing in a righteous way, and some people don't like that. They don't. It's almost like, you know what, you're a pain in the ass, get out of here. Even though you're doing it the right way. In fact, you're doing it righter than everyone else. Do you know what I mean by that, Matt Corneo? Do you know what I mean, Deputy Dan? Sometimes there are people you hire or that work with you, and they're persnickety, and they do things the right way, and you don't want them around. You just don't want them around. And guess what, Ruth?
I got in trouble for following the policy.
Exactly, and not only follow the policy, there are people like you, they not only follow the policy, but they say, you know, you should have done it. Really, no, I'm not, no, this is the way I'm doing it, this is what it says, paragraph 3, section 4, and here's the deal, it just, there are two things here, doing things right, but doing things right in the right way. The presentation sometimes trumps the actual doing right or wrong. That woman who's been there a long time probably knew how to play the game.
Exactly.
Ruth, if you got fired a second time, I'm hoping now you don't get some kind of reputation, and I'm hoping, like, for example, do you think that Centura, do you think they don't give a reference, do they, where they would tell somebody, hey, watch out for her? I mean, I'm hoping not.
It's a small community, and I've had a great reputation. I mean, I have taught, I held a job, I have, you know, been training
Why did you get fired? I'm curious, very quickly, why did you get fired the second time? What was the reason given?
The second time was because there was a girl there, and we were butting heads on how to, she was filling in on first shift.
And why did you butt heads?
We were butting heads.
Why?
Because I had a patient that I was going to take care of, and she didn't communicate with me that she was going to go and get them. And there was an emergent patient that needed to be done.
And what happened?
And she took the phone call.
Yeah.
She did not contact me to go and do it. But when I bumped into her later, she's like, well, you should have known.
Okay,
and
now
they had never even put the order in.
Ruth, here's the deal. Without even hearing anyone else's story, I get the feeling you might be a little too rigid. I really mean that. I really mean it. I don't know what your question is, but hold on, because we're going to have to get to a question, and I'll give you an honest-to-God answer.
What do you think about her?
I think you're right.
She sounds
not making friends. No, sounds all right.
Yeah, but I can tell.
Not making friends.
I can tell.
We said people like in the oil field where they do everything. Like they said, if it snows and you don't feel safe driving in, don't drive in.
I got your list, Grant. I'm going to work on this shit, man. I really will. Because we're getting ready for that new clock.
You must see that and stuff. You got people and stuff. They'll take advantage of every little policy that you're trying to help people out with. If you feel unsafe, don't do it. So they just would stay home. Don't feel safe.
630 KHOW. Hi, this is Courtney Pierce, president of Buy and Build Incorporated. Gray is all the rage now, and we have a new line of cabinets called Greystone Shaker, which just like all of our...
I waste more money on my kid in technology. That's the son of a bitch. Just talking about buying a power supply for his old Xbox because it was shutting off. So we threw the old power supply out, get a new one. It still shuts off. There's something. I wonder if people even. We have a brand new Xbox, but this one we wanted a spare one for another location. Does anyone even repair those little pieces of shit?
No idea. No clue.
You can buy used ones though.
I'm so happy my son's not into that stuff.
Oh my God, my kid is too much. He's too much. I told him this is not going to be another thing.
25 years in business, 2 locations, Denver and Littleton. 303 Pro Auto. That's 303 Pro Auto. We're online at 303proauto.com. If you've ever bought office furniture, you know how expensive and frustrating it can be. But no longer. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for Everything for Offices. With personal attention, great prices, and large quantities of office furniture in stock. Everything for Offices is your very best source for chairs, desks, cubicles, and more, and they will help design your office layout for free. Their beautiful new showroom is conveniently located right off I-235.
Her insurance company was just. And they said, we'll try to work on to get you this deductible back, but it might be 3 years. What were they telling you there?
That's the problem.
But it might be 3 years.
Subro claims are a disaster. They're a nightmare.
If Denver's talking about it, you'll hear it on
So I'm hoping you guys saved her a bunch. So we'll check on her.
Tom Martino here. What do we have, by the way, on some comparisons, saving money on the insurance checkup? There's something called the creep-up syndrome in insurance. When you have insurance, it's not like they say to you, hey, things are going up by a big deal. They raise your premium a few dollars here and a few dollars there, or they reduce coverage. And before you know it, you're paying a lot of money. Or as Matt pointed out, they sneak in different deductibles. Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
These wind and hail percentage deductible, Tom's, we're seeing them almost
wind and hail percentage deductibles without you even knowing. You're thinking, wow.
It's only 1%. It's only 2%.
Exactly.
No big deal.
And 1 or 2% of what?
Of the dwelling. So if you have a $600,000 house, you have a $12,000 wind and hail deductible. If you're a USAA client, if you're a Farmers client, a Hartford client, and you look at your homeowner's policy, chances are you've got a large percentage wind and hail deductible. And that's a massive, massive problem. If we can keep your premiums exactly the same and reduce your wind and hail deductible by $10,000, you've made out like a bandit.
Now give me and don't go away, Ruth. I think I just want to finish up with you in a second here. But what examples do we have?
Well, I've got a couple examples just like that where we moved someone from State Farm to Safeco, saved them over $500 a year, and we doubled their current limits. Doubled their current limits. We've got another one, another from State Farm to Acuity, saved them over $400 on the package. Added an umbrella policy. They were at $100, $300. So essentially, we almost did 10 times the amount of bodily injury liability. So we saved them money and gave them way more coverage.
Very cool, man. This is unbelievable. So till 4 o'clock today, and then of course you'll do them on a case-by-case basis.
Oh yeah, call us anytime at 996-9000.
All right, now let's talk. So Ruth, I got a few comments on Facebook and a few emails, and they're saying they identify with you in a way, but they feel the same way I do in that you are probably a perfectionist of sorts.
No, I was a B-type until I got into the industry. And, I'm definitely not like a rule follower.
Oh, you're not? You're not one of these persnickety people.
No, I get the job done. I get along with people. I don't tell on people.
But it's just
like
weird that you got.
responsibility.
It's weird you got fired at 2 places like that.
Well, at Ventura, they want you to tell on people for everything, which is ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean,
let me ask you this: the second time, how long did you last at Centura?
even less, and they
No, I mean
me out.
in general. First, that Centura was the one you went to. How long did you last?
I was there 6 months.
How long did you last at the second one?
Not even 2.
Huh. Do you feel people are out to get you?
I do, and at
See
Centura,
that?
I thought, because one person said, well, maybe it's because you talk too much about, like, you know, I've got some investment properties, and, you know, I never said how much I made, but I think that somebody
I'm
found
wondering
out,
if there's something about your
person.
I wonder if there's something about your personality. And you know, Ruth, I'm not, by the way, you didn't call to be picked on, and I'm certainly not doing that. I'm trying to discuss this as a friend. And, you know,
I agree.
And I'm wondering, I wonder if you just rub people the wrong way for some reason. I don't know.
I agree. I agree with you. It's obviously something to do with me because it's you know, everybody else is having an issue. But now I'm like, should I go for I don't want to be one of those people that doesn't work.
No, but
I'm
unemployment,
just like,
listen, you more than pay for unemployment. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, you just have to be looking for work.
I applied for 5 jobs yesterday. And I get called right away. I don't have a problem getting a job, but I think maybe I do
Wait a
rub
minute.
people the wrong way.
Hold on. Do you want to listen, Suzanne? Have her come in. Let's do an assessment, a job interview, mock-up. I'm serious, Ruth. I've helped a lot of people.
I'll do it.
And I'm not saying I have the greatest personality, but you know what I do know how to do? In certain situations, not on the air, because on the air, you know, I'm a pain in the ass sometimes on purpose, and a lot of it's in jest. No, I am. But I know how to play the game when it comes to needing to get things done. So really, I want you to come in as a common woman. So Suzanne, arrange for her to come in, and we'll meet her, and we'll do some assessment. We've really helped people. I'm serious. In fact, I want to put this word out. How many talk show hosts do you know, seriously, who will honest to God take the time to sit down with you and do something like that? If you're having a roadblock in your life, come on in. We've helped Patrick, this young guy, try to get a start in his life. Just one woman called in with depression. We had other people call in with other things. This is what the show's about, helping people. But you see, another reason I do it, because it's interesting. When you come in and we assess you, and we don't give out like your last name or anything like that, we share it with people and it helps others. It's interesting. I've said this before. My show is a reality show on radio. It's not a regular talk show. It's not a political show. It's a reality show unfolding in front of you. So, Chad, you have a comment on roof insurance and these high deductibles?
You bet, because, you know, what happens is that also I see, because I'm a roofer, and I'm seeing clients come back to me and saying, hey, the USAA especially wants me to sign this little waiver that says if it's just not damage that is visual and not actual damage to the roof, they want us to sign a waiver to saying, hey, we won't replace the roof. And honestly, it's like, who decides if it's visual or just, you know, like appearance?
Is there a such thing as just an appearance job, Matt?
Well, there some insurance companies have cosmetic damage. Where if it's cosmetic, like on a metal roof in particular.
Won't do it.
Asphalt shingle, I don't really see it, but metal roofs, we're starting to see that a little bit. Where if it's still functional, but it's a cosmetic issue, we're seeing a lot of companies now exclude damage for that or only pay a certain portion of it.
Okay, I can see that. They're saying, hey, it's not leaking, that's right, so you don't have to replace it.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, am I still here? Am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm seeing it on asphalt roofs. I actually have a client right now.
There are asphalt roofs that have bruises but no leaks. I know exactly what they're talking about.
Oh, I totally get it. I think it's probably smart because we replace roofs all the time that are like, you know, there's no damage to them as far as how it'll work.
No, I know it's smart, but it could. But I don't want to. But I don't want it counting against a homeowner. If a homeowner didn't do it the first time and then they have a second storm, I don't want these jerks coming back and saying, well, you know, you did have previous damage and then deduct it from the second claim. That would be unfair. We're out of time, folks. Don't forget our Insurance Help Center, 303-996-9000 at any time. Save all your problems for me.
Thanks, gents, for having me.
Now, are we getting some calls, bro?
Oh, we got a ton of them.
Good.
All right, I'll see you guys next time.
See you,
All right,
Matt.
have a good week. See you.
How's Frenchie, by the way?
Oh, they're insane.
You got two still, and the one was not as friendly as the other.